dance? Hello, hello, hello! Welcome one and all. Welcome to the AstroPub. How y'all doing? I do need to. There we go. Set it up a little bit better. I want to get in for the tour again. Feel free, Bad Sport. Sleeping from excess turkey. Ah, the tryptamine or whatever it's called. Tryptophetamine, whatever the fuck it's goddamn called. Invite a bunch of people I see in the menus. Nexus, Ghost, Dragon. Welcome to IAE floor tour. We're gonna be doing a floor tour. This will be on YouTube. This will be moved into a its own standalone video. So this is just kind of the live version, as it were. Or better yet, buy the ships in game. Okay, you're all talking about like CCUs and stuff like that. Yeah, I am interested because I think I may be wrong with this one, and I think I am, but this may be the first concept ship that we will see a disappointing sales number since for CIG at least since the Genesis. For those of y'all who don't know that the famously the Genesis had pretty poor reception by the community, and did not many of them were sold when they first went out in concept. Prediction: the Odyssey before Galaxy? No, because the Galaxy's already under production. Like, we know it's already being worked on. It's one of the ships that they've said multiple times that they've been working on it. So. My spaceship.
You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers.
There shouldn't be ads on YouTube right now.
Ever take away my space game.
Gin and Tonic just resubscribed for 37 months.
Thank you so much, Gin and Tonic, for that 37-month of support. You are a very important pupper, very precipice, very pedestrian. This is your fault. You're the reason why I drink at night. Shots and cheers and chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. Yeah, I don't think there's any ads on YouTube. How you doing, Jin? Thanks as always for that support. I am humbled by everyone doing the thing with the buttons and the monies. Doing okay? It's good to hear. I just prefer single roll ships in general. Hey, what's up there, Mordad? TFX. Drycon? Sure. Yeah, when you come back, Bad Sport, let me know and I'll send you an invite. Could the RSI Galaxy be the new mining ship for RSI? No, it's not. We already know what it is. It's a multi-role modular ship. It's just like the basic design is ship, hangar, and then its main gimmick. Its main purpose is that it has this big central module that can be used as cargo for refining or as medical. Hi, pilot. I got you. Have you been on before? Have I ever added you before? Because if I do, then I can get you. I got this. What up there, Mord? Yeah, it's a panacea. Yeah. we go. Sent. Just imagine if the Vulcan will fit inside the Odyssey. It should. The Vulcan, I mean, well, it depends, because the Prospector fits inside of it. So if the Prospector fits inside of it, the Freelancer may fit inside of it. So, yeah, more what's your name in game, and I'll send you an invite.
Take away my spaceship.
Spaceship.
You can take away my space suit.
Suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
No pew-pews.
But you can never,
Never.
ever
Ever.
take away my space game.
Atagan just resubscribed for 66 months.
Atagan.
66 months, wow. My wife may start asking question.
66 months, you are a very important pupper. God damn.
Fly_5 just gifted 10 subs.
Sly, you are also a very important pupper, very impressive Pennsylvania pedestrian. Thank you for gifting those subs to Jace, Varmabarian, Deranged Imp, the Xander Guy, Dog Demon, Titamang, Blood Gulper, Beast, Rahaud, and Sukimon. You are all very important puppers, very impressive pistons, very neat pedestrians.
Drinks all around. Let's
party like it's your birthday.
You got a hype train going.
Come on, put your lips together. Blow the candle out. Party like it's your birthday. Party like it's your birthday. I wanna make you feel real special. Put your name in lights. We are gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Gonna party like it's your birthday. Blow the candle out.
Magnus_Sentry just got a sub from Reg1909. Reg1909 gifted a tier 1 sub to Magnus_Sentry.
All of y'all are very, very, very generous. Thank you so much for those support. You rock. Shots at choosing chat. Let's just do this. So, here's the plan. The plan for today is going to be a little bit longer. We're going to stream a little bit longer than we normally do. I'm probably going to do a little bit of Star Citizen stuff after the tour. I don't know what we'll do. We may just go to the bar and see if it's working, and just hang out. Because there's nothing really I want to do other than looking for artifacts. But I guess we could do that. We could all just pop together and then go look for artifacts for like a trip or so. But we're gonna do that on Sunday. But then after the Star Citizen portion, we're gonna move on to Darktide, and we'll be playing that for 2 to 4 hours. Twitch is like, hey, you have ads on, so we're gonna give you a bonus. And if you stream this number of hours. So I'm like, I'm on the edge of that too. Like if I was like far away, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not gonna bother. But I'm at like 42 hours and need 61 streamed. And I only have a couple of days left. So I'm like, I've got Friday off. We'll just stream a little bit longer. Then tomorrow we've got the last tour, which will be for RSI. I'm going to try to do that at noon my time, so 1 p.m. Eastern. That may be a little bit later than that, but it'll be as close as I can get to it. And then after that, we'll be moving on to the captain's table. And from the captain's table, talk kind of like wrap up, talk about all of IAE stuff. And then Sunday, we're going to do another expedition, Relic expedition with the League. So we're going to be doing, for those who've never seen that, we just go to the various wrecked outposts and we clear them out and look for artifacts and then kind of store them. How am I finding Darktide? I find it enjoyable. I'm finding it enjoyable, and I think it's a great 40K game. I don't get where people... I actually get it. This is going to sound, like, offensive. It's not meant to. but the worst people, the people who are most overly critical about Warhammer are Warhammer fans. They are absolutely assholes about like 90% of everything. Like they get very opinionated about something and they do not want to change their opinion. Because a lot of times, a lot of times these people have been playing it since they were children in the 80s. And they developed their idea of what it should be back then, and they've just refused to change their minds. There's lots of conspiracy theories about GW and a lot of other things like that as well. So I know people who said this isn't 40K. This is just a kind of a somewhat darker tinge on Vermintide. And it's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. This thing feels like 40K. They basically took the models from the game and then re-rendered them almost 1-to-1 in 3D. Yeah, the worst part about the Warhammer community is the people. It's also the best part about the Warhammer community. Laughs in British, indeed, Omega. Laughs in British. And the same thing happens with Star Wars, too. So, like, I know people who have leveled criticism at Dark Tide, and my personal take on it is, it's great. It's the gameplay is tight. It's a fun gameplay experience if you enjoy co-op shooters. It's the first guard game we've really ever had in terms of the perspective of an average human, even an average abhuman compared to, like, the demigods of the universe. And the only thing I dislike about it is that it's super limited in terms of its scope.
You can take away my spaceship.
Lucas!
You can take away my space suit.
Space suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
You got no pew-pews.
But you can never, ever take away my space game.
Lucas_DSC has subscribed.
Thank you so much, Lucas, for continuing that sub. You are a very important pubber, very impressive pisser, very neat pedestrian. This is your fault. You're the reason why I'm drinking night. Shots and cheers and chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. I post, there's a Venn diagram overlap between toxic Warhammer fans and toxic Star Wars fans. I think there's a lot of people, and this is a problem. This is kind of a lore thing, so I'll go on a little bit of a soapbox while I invite some more people here. Where are you, Lucas? There you are. I'm going to invite you anyways. I would invite you anyways. You don't have to resub. This is free. But this is a problem I see, and I think I see this a lot in even the Star Citizen community a little bit, is a lot of people, it's not a terrible problem in the Star Citizen community, but they definitely exist. There are people out there who want to have absolutely everything spelled out as clearly as possible about what happens in a universe. And I'm not a writer professionally. I've done stuff for fun, and I'm of course someone who thinks too much about shit like this. But personally, I understand the desire for it, but me, I don't really care about having everything detailed. Like, maybe that's the major disconnect I have between people who are super upset about Pyro versus what we're getting. Because to me, what matters is not what Pyro actually was, but the themes behind Pyro. And if you understand the themes behind Pyro and you understand the way it's supposed to work, that is more important than what type of star it is and how the solar flares work and what planets are terraformed or not. Because to me, you've already jumped over a lot of logical to get into the game, you have to jump over that logical leap of we're using World War II like space fighters effectively in the far distant future. There's no way this would happen. Because like I remember I forgot their name. I've just stopped following them because like they just have such bad takes on everything. But one of the lore groups that kind of decided to shit on Star Citizen's lore as being bad, they said something to the effect of, it's too far in the future. I think this would be, humanity would be this advanced maybe, in 2400. Like, You're hung up about a date? There are fucking space fighters and you're hung up on a date? Like, none of this is realistic. Yeah, but like that's the and I think that is a problem that happens in a lot of communities where it has to be 100% spelled out and easy to explain. Otherwise, people don't get it. People don't get, like, themes are important in stories. Why do you get enwrapped in stories? Not because you know exactly what, you know, like references to other aspects of a story. It's because you understand the themes of what's going on. Yeah, it's a fucking game. But I mean, in my personal opinion, I think themes of a game or themes of a universe are more interesting because they're fucking stories, you know? Yeah, canon is the worst concept in any IP ever existed, which is one of the reasons why I kind of like Warhammer for that reason, is because Warhammer is like, fuck your canon. There's no such thing as canon. Everyone lies their fucking through their teeth. There's so much lost information. No one knows what the fuck is real or not. You're dealing with goddamn demons and warp, which literally will bend space-time around you, so you will arrive at a location before you left. Like, fucking reality doesn't fucking matter anymore, bitch. Every time I see IAE, Star Citizen Live releases, I get excited because they're trying to do things other games only dream of. Yeah, oh yeah. I just enjoy the fact that we're getting one hell of a sandbox. Too far in the future, like 2001 and 2010, those years worked. Yeah, like this Star Citizen could have taken place in the year X45297. It doesn't fucking matter. The dates aren't that important. What matters is where the universe is and how it functions. Even if it takes place in our own universe and they just changed the dating system and didn't explain why. Yeah, I got you, Gerard. Are we friends? Yeah, we are. We're friends. Yeah. I think people get hung up on that kind of concept. Like, Star Citizen goes to great depths, the writing does, to try to explain the universe in a way that is coherent, while also making the in-game aspects of that not different from the canonical aspects of that. And that alone is a Herculean effort on the writers and the developers to try to get that to work right. Major Havoc. Yeah, I got you. I saw you were in the game already, so I didn't know if you were... My thoughts on the Hornet Tracker scanning for sneaking eclipses to guard small orgs from sniping you, because scanning for sneaking eclipses. I think that's a good idea. The problem is that we will, like, the current scanning systems are going to be improved upon / replaced. The thing to understand about Star Citizen as it is in development right now is a lot of what we see are bare bones, but they're the barest of the bare bones. They aren't, and a lot of things are bare bones because they're going to get replaced. So, for instance, the inventory stuff, that is all going to be the way that inventory is going to work from now to forever. But it's going to be more in depth. It's going to expand. It's going to alter here and there because it's the base code, the base building blocks of it. Building blocks is another example. Building blocks is the kind of beginning of a lot of the UI and other graphic stuff, but it takes time for them to iterate on it and build out on it. But once they get an idea of what they're doing, then it speeds up a little bit faster and they can iterate a little bit more. So right now with like scanning, we know long range scanning has been talked about and thrown around a little bit, but their main focus, I believe, is the resource system first, and then they'll get back to that kind of thing. I've had to kill 2 Harbingers guarding security center on Microtech before I ran in. Would Reclaimer salvage be functional? It is functional. The Reclaimer salvage guns are functional, but you cannot nom ships. You can just draw penises with them. Physical inventory slowing down hoarding. That'll happen for sure. Could you take 20 reclaimers and just strip a functioning ship around from someone? Only if their shields are off. They won't work. I invited you earlier, Alex. Try again. You cannot shoot the salvage beams through shields. Paul, can we a concept ship that empties poop water from other ships? I've been talking about a honey wagon forever there, Serge. Honey wagon gameplay when? Yeah, I'm streaming on Star Citizen, on YouTube and Twitch. Will BMM have a Taco Bell in it? Maybe. My BMM might. YT there, Kazaram. Exclamation point YT for the link, I believe. Huh. I have to fix that. It's probably something stupid. It is YouTube. Oh, I have it turned off. No, that's because it's a different thing. Oh, it's because I had to. All right, that's all right. All right. All right. Just tell them to click the link in the description below. That should give them the YouTube link. Being a janitor for a javelin is the dream job. The janitor javelin. Starting in 30 minutes. Oh, that's a different Iswara. That's a different. That's the premiere for the floor tour, the lore tour on the Astro Historian. I would say that's one of the major problems of doing this and doing the lore tours on Astro Historian. What's your favorite looking Misc ship that's in the game currently? The looking is obviously the Razor. The Razor just looks, mwah. It's an F1 racer in space, but my favorite Misc ship of all time is the Freelancer. Hands down, just that entire series of ships. Even the Boob Lancer. It's all amazing. They're advancing very well in Squadron 42, like ship hull depressurization. Yeah, no. And that's the one thing that a lot of people, I think, misunderstand is that, like, any work that's on Squadron 42 is on Star Citizen. It's just first in Squadron, then in Star Citizen. So you don't have to wait until Squadron 42 is finished before that aspect gets ported into the game. See, for instance, the movement, the what were we calling it? The parkour stuff. I keep forgetting the name of the parkour game that was done by. It was done by DICE. Mirror's Edge, yeah. Citizen's Edge. Mirror Citizen. That whole thing we saw at CitizenCon, that part that they showed off, that is already being worked on for Star Citizen. It's already being ported into the game. Won't make it for 3.18, but it'll probably make it for 3.19. So it'll be interesting to see if we'll see any of those things added into the game for the first patch of the year. And I can almost guarantee you that the first patch of the year is going to be 3.19. We're not going to see 4.0 until like at the earliest the summer, more likely fall, like this time in next year. Is it because the Freelancer looks phallic? All ships look phallic, but no, it's because it's utility. It's got that space truck vibe, and as a I guess now former truck owner, I like that aesthetic. I didn't get rid of my truck because I didn't like the truck. I got rid of the truck because it was literally dying, and I couldn't afford a new one. So, I thought it was nerve damage from the MS tapping. Nope. SS. The S key is broken. Oh, damn. Mirror's Edge has some of the greatest level designs I've seen in a while. Yeah. Anyway, I want to do jobs in Star Citizen that fall between the cracks. I'm sure CIG will have jobs like that, but they're not going to support it officially. They'll have things that you have to do that will effectively be a job, but they're not going to be like, there's not going to be like, kind of like this. There's never going to be a pirate gameplay. There's never going to be something that's explicitly pirate gameplay. It's all going to be other gameplay aspects which are combined together. There'll never be something like hygiene gameplay. They'll just have hygiene added to the game as part of this other aspect, which you can then kind of deal with. What's your RSI ship, best ship, Paul? The Aurora, because it's just good. I'd love to like the Connie, but I can't. The Scorpius is fantastic. The Mantis is sad. Let me see what else. Oh no, the Perseus. The Perseus would probably be that one. It's the great, you know, three of your mates go out and kill shit, you know, kind of ship. Yes, it does have toilet paper. Some of the ships have toilet paper, some of the ships have the 3 seashells. Question, if I buy a package, cutter IAE starter, should I be able to melt it and buy it back later for $45, preserving the ALTI and other perks of the package? I believe... That one I don't know. Because I think they've recently come out and said that if you buy a ship back, or a package back, you have to buy it back at the current price. So I don't think you preserve the discount anymore. When do we launch into the game? Soon. I just wanted to make sure everyone's ready to go. See if anybody else wanted in. All right. It seems we are good. No, it's on CCUs. It's for not ships. Okay, then you should be able to. Here we go. Should probably be unmuted. Thank you, Outlaw. 3 for Perseus. RSI site says minimum, says 6 minimum, 6 maximum. No, because you only need the pilot and the 2 gunners. That's 3. The anti-missile turret is remote standard, and you can have an operator for the torpedoes, but you don't have to. I actually do find it funny that I do find it funny that I think CIG is, it depends on how well the Galaxy does, but I think if the Galaxy doesn't do well, I think CIG is finally at the end of the era of concept ship sales. Not straight the flyable release, but concept ships. Yeah, I do think you have to buy it back with cash, not credit, if you buy it back, unless you have you get like once a quarter you get a free credit buyback. I think it's a waste of pixels. I think it's exactly what a lot of people wanted. They wanted a Polaris, a civilian Polaris. And that's what it is, a civilian Polaris. I don't know, like. I saw a poll done by morphologists, so I decided to do a poll myself on my own Twitter and kind of get people's feedback. And a lot of people were like, I just don't want to buy a ship that's not in the game yet. because you also got to remember that the community of Star Citizen is very different from even a year ago, let alone 3 years ago. A lot of people, and as much as people complain about concept ships, they've sold 2 in the last year. And I think they only sold like 2 or 3 the year before, and I think 2 or 3 the year before that. Back in like 2019, we had a concept ship a month. And now we don't have that anymore. I don't think it'll fail, but I wonder if it is the same disappointing return as the Genesis. I think it might get them to rethink the idea behind it, because the issues that I have, and I think a lot of people have with it, is more of how much work it adds to the developers, to the point where the question becomes it's a matter of, you know, do you trust that CIG will finish this within your lifetime? You know, let alone within the next 10 years. If they can't, they always seem to be pushing back, especially the older ships, for the newer ships, because newer ships are easier for them to work on. So it causes more of a delay. And I think a lot of the people who are upset about things like the Banu Merchantmen possibly getting tabled simply because they don't have enough people. A lot of people say, well, you had enough people to make the C8R and the cutter, but suddenly you don't have enough people to make the biggest ship that people spend hundreds of dollars on. Yeah, and I get that the older ships don't have gameplay ready for them, but at the same time, there's nothing that says CIG will have modular gameplay completely finished by the next year. Hell, like the Raft was released specifically with cargo refactor in mind, and the Raft won't even get its full intended gameplay until at least the early next year. So it'll be 2 to 3 years from when it was originally pitched. Nah, us Endeavor owners, the cult of the Endeavor are very patient, because we were told almost from the get-go that the Endeavor was never going to make it into the game. Like, that it was going to come in much later. Actually, I don't own an Endeavor, but the cult of the Endeavor, us followers of the cult of the Endeavor, know that it's not coming in until because CIG was upfront about it. They were like, listen, this game requires so many other things, it's probably not going to make it in before the end of before the game's released. And that was like in 2015. Like, that was so long ago, people just said, yeah, whatever.
Paul, I just checked for the question that has been asked. So, concept sales, so the cutter, for example, keeps its price.
Okay, that's good.
When you want to buy back, I don't have currently a buyback token, so I can't verify if I can buy it back with credit, but from what I remember, you can.
Okay.
Even if it was Warbond.
Thank you. I'm not sure it's me, but your audio is cracking on Discord. Yeah, it's probably a Discord thing. It's not on Twitch, I don't think. It's just Discord has got a problem with that, is the issue. Let me restart Discord real quick, because that's the issue. Or I'll restart the engine. You're going to hear nothing for a moment. Hello? Is that any better?
Oh, now it's better.
No, on Discord. It's on Discord. So those who were wondering. So Discord, my audio, my recording software, or my mic, and Discord do not get along at all. Some other issues with it.
It sounds good over here.
Okay.
It's crackling again a bit. I had the same issue if I use the microphone directly to Discord, no issues. But if I
I turned off
voice
echo
meter
cancellation.
in between,
yeah,
with the simulated cable, it starts crackling.
Yeah, that's the other issue, is the simulated cable. Let me turn on the let me turn that back on, the echo cancellation, and then I'm going to change the voice from there to directly from mic.
You lose the control from voice meter, but it
That's
doesn't
fine.
crack anymore.
You might have to change my my input, but because I may be worse, probably usually lower once I turn it off. I actually agree. As a newly ordained cult member and who sprung for one, go ahead and make the Endeavor last, but it'll be it'll long for its arrival just the same. Yeah. Whoever was complaining, whoever was the Endeavor owner who was complaining about not getting the Endeavor, shame on them. Shame on them. Shame.
I've had the Endeavor since last year, but
yeah.
I just bought 3 CCUs just for when it starts jump pricing, since all my BMMs are planned already.
Yeah. Also,
which is also another option to take the Endeavor, is you could expect pretty good high price jumps when it starts to be developed, if they continue on with CCU and chip sales at that point.
There you go. Yeah, that's the thing. You never buy the Endeavor modules. Just buy the base Endeavor. That's the value. Just give me my Ryan. What's the last day of the event? November 30th. So Wednesday is the last day of the event. The last full day of, like, your ship being, like, these sorts of things, you can walk around and look at all the ships on the floor, is tomorrow. Well, I guess Sunday. Because RSI will be available on... get a burrito real quick.
On Saturday and Sunday. 27th and 26th and 27th.
And then on the 27th, it's Best in Show, and that goes on until the 30th. So, I don't know if they don't always give the Best in Show skins right away. They sometimes take a while. I'm going to buy some real quickly just because I also need to have these just in case. Because it happens fucking a lot from where the back-end servers are broken. And I'm stuck with that food or water. Which is why you should always, always, always buy more food than you need and keep it either in your inventory or keep it in your on your person, so that way you have it.
Month-old burritos.
Month-old burritos, baby.
Astro, by the way, how are you feeling doing the IAE marathon?
I'm tired. I'm tired of shit. I'm having fun. But
Execute is pretty dead.
It's hard. It's hard because the I have fun, but it's a balance of, like, could I be doing something else that's more engaging? And the answer is usually no. But I'm almost certainly going to take a break from streaming, not next week, but the week after, because I want to have some time between. I need some time off from all of this stuff, so.
2 weeks break, so next week as a break too, or?
No, so like, so next week I'll be streaming my normal schedule, so from the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and then. I'm at
school.
And then, well, then I've got 1, 2, 3 weeks for the end of school, so I'm going to take that last week off. The 5th through the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th off from streaming, and then I'll come back, after that, because that's when we're coming towards the end of the year. We'll probably have 318. Though knowing my luck, 318 is going to come out in fucking PTU on Friday, next Friday.
The other thing is in the
it's in Evocati, so
in the ship talk, Jared mentioned something about unannounced concepts for Christmas and at the beginning of the year, maybe.
Oh, MCV. That's what's going to be. That's what's going to be. The one that we didn't see. We've been zipping through Evo builds, yeah. And they've already confirmed, pretty much, they've solidified everything that's on the roadmap. So they 100% backed all of that stuff. Paul, just seen a tweet. Are you not going to help with the Christmas tree? The cat is helping. Cam and my brother-in-law are doing the Christmas tree. They're not decorating the tree. They're setting it up. Because we have an artificial tree. Because I had, growing up, nothing but, like, fresh trees every year because my parents had nothing but artificial trees, and so they were like, we're gonna have fresh trees every year. So when I was old enough to have my own Christmas tree, I was just like, I'm buying fucking artificial. Fuck that. There are too many needles to take care of. It becomes like a danger, a hazard, because it gets like super dry. I'm just gonna buy an artificial and be fine with it. Can't make the tour, but I'm in your session right now. I just want to say hi. Hey there, Cobra Weaver. Yeah, I think a lot of people are hanging out here naked and such. So it's a cycle, yeah. Yeah, fresh trees are great outside where they belong. And I can enjoy them. And since I've moved to Austin, it's probably a little worse. The AI has been a little bit better. I see them walking around a little bit more. They're being a little bit more responsive. I still think they need a good spawn closet for them so that they can have their little freak out, moments of existential crises on their own.
They should add a kind of watchdog system that when the system detects an NPC is getting crazy and not responding, response teams arrive, executes the NPC, and the new NPC walks out of the closet a few minutes later.
Well, see, that's why you have a spawn closet in the first place, because you want to give a place where players can't go, but NPCs can go, which they'll emerge after having thought about their lives.
I would just love the action seeing SEAL Team 6 arrive, executing an NPC and leaving again in the middle of the city.
So they come out of the closet thinking about their lives once they've got their shit together. Because that's the problem, is that like you'll have NPCs. You remember how the NPCs, when you start a fresh server, you run out and the NPCs are all like lined up, staring in one area? That's what you should have them do that, but they should be spawned in an area where players can't access, that then NPCs will then leave periodically over time. Which is what they do with bunkers. That's why that's what those elevators are. They're just you can't access them. NPCs spawn inside there and then they slowly move out when they get a chance to. You're good, Murad. We got time. We got Mook and Major and Gerard. They're all coming over. So, hey, yep. It's High Pilot. I was gonna say, random people maybe.
I need to pass by the hospital. I forgot I still got my chest injury from 2 days ago. When I got injured by Steve.
That's creepy when they do that and you have the lights off and you're alone. Someone hold me. I'm scared. Oh yeah, and the Exorcist NPCs. But effectively, I think it would serve them well to build giant, like big rooms where they would spawn, where were designated for NPCs to spawn into. Then the system checks their sanity to see if they're good, if everything works. If they don't work, they can despawn them and try to spawn them again. The worst comes to worst, that'll just create a situation where, hey, what's up, dude? You want to join us for a tour? Man in gold? Okay, guess not. Other folks. We're doing a tour of the floor. Now they're in. The worst comes to worst, you have no NPCs on the floor. But hey, we're doing a floor tour, a tour of the floor. If you want to come join us and learn a little bit more about Misc. having a heart-to-heart. That was sweet. That was very sweet.
Astro, any idea? Because that's the biggest thing I've been wondering. Why RSI? They have already enough big ships in the pipeline. They could have gone another manufacturer. But why RSI?
Why RSI? Because RSI isn't really... they make the most sense for that kind of thing for Galaxy.
Yeah, for the Galaxy, but probably they have also other concepts.
Yeah, but there's the Galaxy is a civilian Polaris. It's just they wanted to do for a while. How would a server hold up to ship battles with capital ships? Better than landing zones. Let me explain. There's a lot less entities in deep space with capital ships than there is on like in this hall right here. The amount of textures and other things that have to load in, the lighting that has to go through, everything that makes this place look really good is requires a lot of processing power. It requires a lot of there's a lot of junk in here that will cause it to be, that drags performance down because your computer has to load it and it has to load everything through your CPU currently, not really your GPU. That's one of the things why Vulkan API is very important because it'll help load things through your GPU instead and should be more efficient. But just these ships alone in the middle of deep space, easy, because there's nothing else for the region, the area to have to load in, just the ships. And when you start getting things like server meshing, that's one of the reasons why they can increase the player caps, because they can set a limit to the number, where the servers are based off of the location. So, like, for instance, all of Lorville could be its own server, and it would run fucking amazing because it doesn't have to load nearly the amount of stuff that the server has to load for everything else. You ever look at the Galaxy from the front and see a little Millennium Falcon? I always see it as like a Imperial ship, honestly. But if I have a CCU from ship A to B, and the price of ship A goes above ship B, can I still use the CCU to go from ship A to B? Because yes, if you have the CCU. So, like, if the ship goes up in price beyond the ship that you're purchasing it at, you can still apply that CCU to the ship. You'd lose money, but you can still apply it. I changed it from purple to blue, and now people want me to change it back? I'll change it at some point. I need to go through and kind of purge all the roles and remove all the bots and kind of change things up anyways, so... When I have time, which I won't. I'll probably have time over the winter. Brian, I'm not 100% on that, though. I do think that's the case because it locks it in at that price. Yeah, the Galaxy is just a civilian Polaris. But yeah, it is kind of like a midget Star Destroyer, like a midget Venator. You should make the league black like my soul. We have to wait for more stuff to come out. Maybe CIG will make an exploration armor or something like that we could use as our bases.
Hey, there's a Ninetales guy. Can I shoot him?
He has no idea what you're talking about. He's not Ninetales. He's simply a cosplayer. This is a convention after all, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's right. Right? You're just a cosplayer.
I'm gonna go get my FS9. I'll be back.
We're doing a tour if you want to learn more about the history of Misc and these various ships. Nah, you're good. We're on the way. I thought the Galaxy was a little smaller than the Polaris since the Dorito grew in size. Yeah, it's smaller than the Polaris. It's actually more about the same size as the Hammerhead, maybe a little bit bigger. It's somewhere between the Hammerhead and the Carrack. I'm wondering where the girls in bikinis are to show off the ships. Exactly. No joke. Shit like that is stuff I'd want to see in Star Citizen.
And Drake got in trouble last time they did it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, what we should have is, like, not just these hauls through, like, oh, yeah, you get this day. No, like we should have hauls for the entire day. We should be able for the entire week. We should be able to see all of the hauls every week for every haul for the entire week. And then the days that we have are actually like the special sales and all that kind of stuff. But you should be able to buy all of the normal stuff. Because it would also fit in well. Because if you go to a car show, they don't just open the Toyota like pavilion the 1 or 2 days of the convention. It's the entire day, the entire thing. Good luck. I think we'll never get anything truly showing skin, which is a shame. Because, like, I know CIG is a little squeamish about that kind of thing, but that's really what they need to kind of, like, allow for players to do. It's as valid of an expression as any other kind of expression is. The planet is not deep enough. Well, these aren't necessarily underground, because if you actually look at the layout of this place, they could just be the elevators could actually be going sideways rather than up and down. It's plenty deep enough, fallen through it enough. Alright, so where are we looking at? We're looking at, yeah, he's only about 156 kilometers. He's not too far away. You still gonna make it here? Gerald? I know you have a different name on Twitch, YouTube, but... Yeah, like Detroit's Auto Show. They unveiled the new vehicles at a gala right before the public opening. Would be cool to see that in Concierge. Yeah. For Concierge, yeah, that'd be great. A Chairman's Club exclusive?
I wonder if they are already planning to do that already. I mean, the Chairman's Club does have its own separate...
No, that's a Million Mile High Club.
Yeah, but that's not Chairman's Club. So, like, but there is supposed to be a Chairman's Club, like, location, for sure. Why are they called elevators if they don't elevate people? Because CIG is bad at names. This is not in contention. This is a fact. CIG is bad at names. Wonka Vader was taken. Well, I mean, the name Turbo Lift or Omni Vader would probably work better. Got quite the size here. The tour is going to start here in a minute. We're waiting for one more individual who's he's almost here. He's in the system. He's landing right now. So wouldn't shock you if he was in the works. The cutter doesn't cut. No, because that's not why it's called the cutter, though. It's called the cutter because it's a reference to the nautical cutters.
The problem is when some people talk about the cutter, you sometimes hear the catter, so the caterpillar, which sometimes is confusing.
And also, it's also confusing because CIG called a drone that's going to be operated by the Reclaimer at one point the cutter. So it was, people thought it was going to be the snub ship for the Reclaimer, which has been dropped, or it's going to be turning into a drone, which will happen at some point, I think.
Oh, rumors have been also it could be a Titan suit, many things.
Yeah. The what cutters? So nautical cutters. You ever heard of something like a Coast Guard cutter? cutters are historically smaller ships. They're usually not like rowboats or dinghies or something like that, but they're not big enough to be kind of like a typical naval vessel. They usually are small coastbound boats. But they did cut the price of the cutter. They did recently. A cutter's a ship's boat, yeah, but it's not like a rowboat though. It's the kind of in between. Like a sloop or bigger, yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, the cutter was a merchant ship too. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, and Coast Guard cutters are definitely not traditional cutters. They're called cutters, but there's lots of naming conventions, which is weird. Which is one of the things whenever I hear someone say, well, CIG has screwed up the names of the various capital ships and like the classifications of it. It's like there is no consistency for any of this shit in reality. There is now, but a lot of this shit was different in the past. Frigates are a thing in some navies and not in others. Boat is a technical term. Yeah, I know, but a ship's boat is usually determined that it is something that is carried aboard another ship and then launched from another ship, like a launch. I'd float the cutter down a Microtech River. We're going to get a more than just Microtech rivers. All of the, in 318, every single planet, except for ArcCorp is going to get a river. Yeah, it most has to do with it has mostly to do with size, and also as Jin said, it also has to do with can the craft, the watercraft, carry other watercraft? If the answer is yes, it's probably a ship. If it's if the watercraft cannot carry other watercraft, it's more likely a boat. Which is why you'll hear people call like even in Star Citizen lore, they don't really call them spaceships. They call them spacecraft. Often. Because I guess technically, like an 890 jump was a spaceship, but like an Aurora is a spacecraft for that sort of reasons. You're giving me shit for it because I don't know the actual definition, but I know it is a type of naval, it's a type of naval craft that existed, and that's what it's in reference to. Because just like the Cutlass or the Kraken or the nautical terms, and especially Age of Sail terms, spaceboat. 2952, we use ship as a dating device. Submarines are traditionally called boats, yeah. I don't know if Origin ever built boats. They did build, they might, but they started out as an engine manufacturer. All right, Gerald's almost here.
He's been 20 kilometers out for about 10 minutes.
I think he's on the station getting, doing the whole like respawn thing. If he's not here in the next 5 minutes, we'll go without him. He can visit us. He can catch us where we go. And Argo is trains, right? Yep. Argo built trains. But you can see outside, only because he's in our party, we can see how far away he is. Or they are. They are 19.8 kilometers. And that's not always accurate because sometimes it just doesn't update properly. A light, fast coastal patrol boat cutter. Okay. Would there be boats in game? They're already developing them for Squadron 42. So almost certainly we will see them in game. I don't know how valuable or viable they'll be, but they'll exist. I imagine something like a Hercules could probably carry boats. We need a hover tank. I mean, if there's going to be one company, one group of people that makes hover tanks, it's either Xi'an or the Devarin. And we know that now, as of yesterday, I've learned that the Devarin actually make tanks, or made tanks, which we didn't know. I didn't know about, but that article's from 2018, so it's been around for a while. You put 8 NPUVs in a C2? Nintendo started making playing cards. Yeah, a lot of the Japanese gaming companies were like toy manufacturers before that. Where do you stand on big ship backlog debate? What's going on in the moment? Two things. One, I completely disagree that when people say that they shouldn't be making smaller ships that are straight to flyable. But at the same time, I agree that CIG should not be adding new big ships to the game when they know themselves it's going to take a year and a half to even build one from scratch. When they already have, they have like 20 concept ships right now that have yet to be released. I would say about 10 of them are smaller ships, which are either in some stage of being released. But that still means like half, like 10 ships, which are going to take at least a year and a half and require large amounts of effort and people to build. And I get they're waiting on things like the actual gameplay to be released, but if they know it's going to take a while to release, they can do what they did with the Hull C. Like, the Hull C is finished. For those who don't know, the Hull C is done. Not only is it done, but it's already gotten it had to do another pass to put it up to the same standard as the Hull A, and that's done too. That was done in October. But it's not going to come out until at least it is viable in game. So Pyro 4.0 and beyond is when we'll see it. But it's done. So why won't they put it in the game? Because there's no point in adding it into the game. It'll just be there. They could do that right now with any of the larger ships and get them up to a standard that they like, and then just leave them there until the stuff comes out.
I don't know. That whole sea would crash the economy.
I think 12 or larger capital ships. I mean, yeah, kind of. Will ground vehicles have a stealth advantage because of lower profile and signatures? Yes, they already do. He's right above us, Gerard. He's at 12 kilometers.
He's stuck in the interior of the lobby somehow.
Hmm.
In a wall. I'm up here with him.
Oh. Wait, ships can be updated? It's called the Gold Pass. They do them all the time. They would just increase the supply of scrap and waste for the whole sea to start testing it. No, they're gonna wait. They'd wait until the actual like aspects of the game are in. You know, waiting for the ability to load and unload whole seas, which won't happen until 3.19/4.0 and beyond. Yeah, they haven't even updated the Genesis. So, like, my point is, I understand people's concerns about, like, CIG's priorities. I do think it's a little bit overblown and a little bit, I don't want to say shitty. It's a little bit stupid, I think, to get upset about most of the things that people get upset about, especially when this debate is. But I think the core argument, which is, why are you making larger ships when you know it will take you several years to produce those ships? And why are you producing larger ships that haven't been sold yet when you haven't even finished the ones that you've already sold for hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars? Could I spare a drink? Do you need a drink? Are you in game, Paul? Oh, you are. I think that's you right there. Here. Comes out. Because money, Paul. It's because money. It's a stupid reason, though. They could make more money by selling smaller ships. There you go. They could have easily put together, in the time it took them to concept and develop the Genesis, they could have probably built 1 or 2 scrap salvage ships, another mining ship, a gunship, a bounty hunter ship, anything that's going to be in the game faster than modularization.
Here comes Gerald.
Are you all here?
Yep, we got him out of the wall.
Nice. No, they couldn't build a dreadnought, but it's smaller ships for sure. Hull B and up use these 32 SU containers, so not as long to load. People are worried about they're thinking they're loading 1 SU containers. It's also going to be set timers, not to fun. They also got to set timers to fun, not real. They'll do that, but we got to wait until those things come in. You know, Crystal King. All right. I think some game design they haven't worked out yet. How is loading and unloading for Hull C supposed to work? Should it be a hangar off screen, tractor beams, those boxes? They are definitely going to be tractor beams, but at least initially they're going to be timers. They definitely want to be able to have people load it themselves and then unload it themselves if they want to. But they also need tractor beams to work. So that's probably another reason why the Hull C isn't actually in game, even though you could fake it like they do with the Hull A. All right. Let me get out of the party screen. Leave group. I'm going to run an ad real quick before we get started, just so that we don't get interrupted by ads. Put a little marker down. Honestly, the main complaint I have is that Squadron 42 gets all the money the PU brings in. I don't know how many people are interested in Squadron 42. Plenty of people are interested in Squadron 42, but that comes from I think that comes. Let's finish this up real quickly. The issue you have, I get it, but you also have to understand that they're the same game. Squadron 42 and Star Citizen are not like 2 different games. They are literally the same game. The only difference is that Squadron 42 is built for single player and Star Citizen is built for multiplayer. But they use the same assets. They even use the same architecture. So like Squadron 42 uses the Star Citizen like server architecture. Let me turn it down. Looks my computer's already over here. You wouldn't have Pyro and Nyx in the game. Squadron 42 is not delaying Pyro or Nyx. Squadron 42 is not delaying gameplay, really. What's delaying gameplay in Pyro and Nyx is persistent entity streaming and server meshing, both of which are being done for Star Citizen, and those teams have not been poached off for Squadron 42. None of that, and you're not going to adding more people to those teams aren't going to make them faster because they are very specific types of teams. Yeah, so Squadron 42 would be like Star Citizen, but isolated branch the PU. Squadron 42 is not multiplayer. It's not multiplayer, and I don't even believe it's online, but it uses the similar architecture for servers and players, but spins up servers inside your computer. I might for the play Squadron 42. Yeah, plenty of people are interested in Squadron. I get the argument, which is Squadron 42 does not bring in the money. Star Citizen is, so you should focus on Star Citizen. The problem with that concept as well is that they don't understand how much money Squadron 42 has the potential to make once it's released. And I'm saying like an entire year's worth of Star Citizen funding in like a week. Easily. 100 million in a week is not difficult for a game that has the kind of star power that Star Citizen has, Squadron 42 has. Yeah, it takes place beforehand in terms of the story. I know not everyone's interested in it. I know a lot of it's not the main draw for a lot of people, but yeah. Anyways, let's get started with recording. Welcome back to the floor of IAE 2940. I say 47. Welcome back to the floor of IAE 2952. I am in the past. This is Misc Day. So you're here, you see all these wonderful folks here before me. They're all watching me live. I'm streaming this live to Twitch and YouTube. So come join us live at twitch.tv/TheAstroPub, youtube.com/TheAstroPub live. We'll be doing the next tour. We'll probably start a little earlier because I've got Captain's Table tomorrow. So it'll probably start around noon. Probably not at noon, but like between noon and 1. We take some time to set up anyway. So if you get in those time period, you probably have a chance to come in and join us. So come on and join us. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel in order to become part of it. Yeah, let's get started with Misc. So, who is Misc? Misc has probably got the most simplest backstory of most of the manufacturers that we've done on the floor today. Misc was founded in 2805 by a merger of Hatto Electronics and Musashi Lifestyle Design brand, which is a part of Acorn Limited. You've all probably seen the Acorn Starheart and other Acorn ships components. Those components, someone's very coffee. Those components are all, either. Okay, I'm gonna mute whoever that is. Those components are all parts of the, that was the company that Misc used to be part of. And after, in a 2805, the company merged together with Hatto Electronics, specifically because okay, I'm just going to stop this recording and start it again because people are having a problem with their mics. Y'all, check your mics and your background noise, please. There we go. All right. Try this one more time. Sorry, y'all. We'll do this one more time. I don't mind y'all talking, but like I can hear a piercing clinging in the background. It's really hard to do. Yeah, change the push to talk if you want to talk. Oh, it's someone in game. Okay. So, we're going to have to do this. Sorry, y'all. Speech volume. There we go. Someone in game's gotta ruin it for everybody else. All right. Y'all should be good now. It's definitely somebody in game. All right. Welcome back to the floor of IAE 2952. My name is Paul Shelley. This is our lore tours, our floor tours of IAE, where we kind of take people from all over. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna start over again because my brain is all sorts of confuzzled. It's just so hot in my fucking room. Yeah, you can't hear me in game anymore because I muted myself. Round 3. Try one more time. Welcome back to the floor of IAE 2952. It's Misc Day here on the floor. You see all these wonderful folks in front of us. These are all people who are watching us live. Twitch.tv/TheAstroPub, YouTube.com/TheAstroPub live. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you're enjoying this. Make sure you hit the little bell icon and come join us live. We'll be coming on for RSI Day. We'll be a little bit early. We'll be at about noon my time, so 1 p.m. Eastern. As long as you get here between noon and like 1-ish, 1 and 2-ish Eastern, you should be able to come in. All right, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about Misc. Who are they as a manufacturer, and talk about the ships that they have here on the floor. Well, so you know, Misc is a company that was founded in Saisei in 2805. They were founded by a merger of Hato Electronics and Musashi Lifestyle brand of Acorn Limited. Acorn, the company that makes the Starheart and makes a couple of other kind of components. Well, they were founded specifically because they were wanted to build the industrial sort of brand of industrial ships to take care of the situations with the cargo crisis of the 29th century, where a lot of the companies who had been around since the Mezzers collapsed because they no longer had any support, because they were so closely tied to the Mezzers that when the Mezzers were overthrown, they lost their place in the economy. So Misc came in to create heavy industry. In fact, Misc used its main department is Misc Heavy Industry, which is Misc High. And from there, they developed the Hull series and the Starfarer series. And when they developed those two series of ships, they got the attention of Aopoa and the Xi'an, who approached them to offer a technology exchange. That exchange would lead to things like the Reliant, the Freelancer, the Razor, the Prospector, the Odyssey, all of these different ships, which have become synonymous with Misc, and has kind of facilitated a lot of the changes that have occurred between human and Xi'an relations. Misc is still the premier heavy industry manufacturer, but they've also started to break into these smaller individual ships as well, which, as we'll see on the floor. So let's go over and talk about the oldest ship in the Misc line, and a little confusing bit of the lore, the Hull series. Let's go over here with the Hull A. So this is the Hull A. Unfortunately, we do not have the other Hull series here on the floor. We'll see the Hull C in the down below. But I'll go over a little bit of the Hull series in general. The Hull series was first developed in 2802. And if that sounds weird, it's because it is. The Hull series was originally developed in 2802, even though Misc wasn't developed and wasn't even formed until 2805. A bit of a weird timing, though it hasn't been explained in lore, but my guess is that the Musashi Lifestyle brand actually developed the Misc series, or the Hull series, for their own as a shipmaking, but they didn't have the ability to produce the ships themselves at the quantities they needed to, so they merged with Hato Electronics, which had an extensive amount of production facilities. We do know that Hato Electronics had an extensive amount of production facilities to be able to produce the Hull series more frequently. Now, the thing about the Hull series that makes it interesting is that every single Hull series ship is almost identical with one another. They change slightly as they increase in size, but they're built on very similar concepts with very similar techniques. The most unique is obviously the Hull A and the Hull Bs. The Hull A can actually land when it's fully loaded, but the other ones cannot. But the thing that makes it separate is if you come over here to this area here, if you see back in the back here, you see there's a little bit of a gap here. That gap, you see some kind of components in the side, or little actuators here. That whole thing, you can actually see the little pads in there, or as you can see, little stacked up little plates. That extends out when the ship's in operation to be able to lock cargo to the sides of the vessel. All of the Hull ships have this. They all can lock cargo on their sides, as when we look at the Hollow for the Hull C, which makes it so that it's very quick change. You can expand it out to put as much cargo as you want to. You can take it to a location, unload the cargo, collapse the spindle inside of it, and then fly off wherever you want to go. So it allows it to change its size dramatically when it's not carrying cargo. That is the success of the whole series, because it is a cheap, easy way of allowing for large numbers of cargo to be delivered to a location. Because of the cargo crisis of the 29th century, this ship basically ended it. The whole series is the basis for pretty much all modern shipping. Most facilities in the verse, most stations and landing facilities are all built to deal with hull series. So the hull is the standard shipping container. The standard shipping containers even come from the size of the hull series can carry. I believe even. So the infrastructure of the UEE, the new UEE, was built around the hull series. So that's how important they are. That's why they're the most common ship to see in the verse. And the thing about even the biggest hull series is that minimum crew of even the hull D and hull E series is 1. It doesn't require many people to run these ships because they're just engines, crew compartments, and cargo skids. That's all they are. Designed to go from point to point. They don't have a lot of weapons, they don't have a lot of defenses, but they are efficient for what they do. From the hull, let's go to the next ship that they built, which was the Starfarer over here. So, this is the Starfarer. The Misc Starfarer was built in 2870, about 70 years after the introduction of the hull series, and it was built radically different from the hull. The original concept of this front area is effectively the same thing as the front of a hull E that's been chopped off and then added a completely different back to it. Now, the time period, 2870, the end of the, 2870, the end of the cargo crisis period, the end of the 29th century, the major way that liquid and fuel was transported from station to station and point to point was these massive super tankers, which were similar to the whole series, but they had welded on containers. Or they would attach these containers onto the sides of these ships and they'd go from point A to point B. That made it very dangerous because if it got into any accident, those containers might pop off and they might float away. They might burst because of micrometeorite or other things like attacks. So that was not a very effective or very well thought out method of shipment. And when you reached your destination, say you wanted to take that fuel from space to the ground, you would have to get smaller farrier tankers, which would either pick up the stuff and take it down or pipe off of the tanks and then carry them down to the surface, which was very inefficient. So Misc developed the Starfarer specifically to take advantage of this problem. Now, if we come to the back, I'll explain why. The Starfarer is a heavy, massive ship, but it is also a fairly good design for moving liquid around. These two major things are actually reactors. These are refineries. These two big kind of little corrugated sides to them, these refineries will take free hydrogen that's scooped up from the front scoop of the Starfarer and refine it into hydrogen fuel if need be. So it can refuel itself on the fly. And these pods are all welded to the superstructure, but are protected and cradled by the rest of the ship. It would require a very specific shot or a very specific... it'd be very difficult to hit these tanks directly unless you were really trying to do so, which reduced the damage and the other kind of dangers to the ship, to accidents for these tanks coming off to very, very low degrees. And on top of that, they also added this boom arm. This boom arm was built specifically to allow for the whole series, or the Starfarer, to refuel on the fly, especially smaller ships. When the Starfarer first came out, this ship was called every name under the sun. It was ugly. A lot of people didn't understand the need for it. They thought it was a joke. But shortly after, within a couple of years, Starfarers become ubiquitous. They became everywhere. They replaced a lot of those older, massive tankers for a lot of smaller versions, because the reality of space travel is very different from the belief of space travel. And this is what attracted the Xi'an, because how Misc came up with this discovery was they did their research. They went through and figured out what the major bottleneck in infrastructure was for space and discovered it was fuel transport and built the Starfarer accordingly. So this ship was ahead of its time when it was first built. And because it was so ahead of its time, it ended up doing well despite all of the negative press. And the Xi'an, who are very, very, very much forward thinkers in their culture, respected the shit out of the decision, which is what made them approach Misc as the first human company to approach to, because they felt they were in very, very similar mindsets about how you plan and think ahead rather than reacting to the market that exists. So from that, let's go over to the Gemini. So the Gemini is slightly different. I forgot to turn off the Twitch alerts. Mike's on. Okay, I can cut that out. Thank you, DJ Knight, for that raid. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, in the middle of a tour. I'm talking about the ships on the floor and their lore. How you doing, DJ? How you doing, Night Core? All right, let's get back. Shh, doors in session. All right, so here we are over with the Gemini. The thing to understand about the Gemini is that the Gemini is the military version of the Starfarer. Look at the front here. You see those are all size 5 missiles, the same size missiles I believe that are on the Freelancer Misc carry the same kind of missiles. Over here, you'll notice that area does not exist. That area is actually the intake that I was talking about earlier about the refinery, where you can take in stuff here and refine it. Though there are some other intakes around here that can function. That's the main one. This ship, that makes it unique, is that even though it's a Misc ship, it's not actually a Misc ship. It's actually built by Aegis Dynamics. You see, initially, when Misc approached the UEE, they knew the UEE did not have an in-flight solution to refuel their smaller ships, their fighter squadrons and such. So they approached saying, hey, we know you have this problem, we're going to solve it for you. And they were rejected, out hand. They asked for an explanation as to why their proposal was rejected, and they got silence. Misc realized that probably the reason why they got rejected was because they had literally zero history with the UEE, and they had no connections within the UEE government or the military. So as a result, they sought out a company that did have those connections and one that was struggling to try to maintain those connections, which was Aegis Dynamics. So Misc approached Aegis and said, we have a deal for you. We will produce a militarized version of our Starfarer that you will design and modify for us, and you can produce them as well, and we will share the profits in it. Aegis agreed. They put forward the proposal for the Starfarer Gemini, which is just known as the Star G to most starmen. And it became what we see here. This is a little bit different. It has all of the standard features of a typical Starfarer, but it has more armor. Its top turret is slightly bigger, and it replaced the intake system with this missile system for more offensive and defensive capabilities. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. All right, from that, let's head over to the Prospector. This is the result of Project Cold Boot. they'll all come over here shortly. They're actually probably here, but desync is bad. This is the result of Project Cold Boot. Project Cold Boot was another one of those endeavors, and this is some of the things you're going to see a lot with Misc, because they tend to do a lot of. Oh, it's an 8 or 30K. That's the first 30K we've had while doing a tour. We'll have to do the meetup again. I'll stop the recording. We don't have to do the whole thing going, but Ripperoni.
First one I've seen in a while.
I get them probably once a recording session. There you go. Thank you, Oatmeal.
Paul, I'm going to relaunch the game.
Yeah, I'm going to do that too real quick, just so everyone should probably do that. If you're listening, quit the game and then relaunch it, because then you can get a bad token error where it just refuses to launch it. Might be more people than usual. Yes, there are. There's definitely more people than usual. Hey, Mr. Gold Ember, thank you so much for becoming a VIP. Be a member on YouTube. Misc is pulling the feed because of the Drake drama. I just got a 30K as I ended the stream, so I imagine they're having some issues. Yeah, they are. Luckily, though, we're at the point where we're coming to a middle with some of these issues, because the PES system that they're adding in 3.18 should improve some of that, and then 3.19 should improve that even further.
Did they announce that 3.19 is going to be coming?
No, but they announced that they were going to do a 3.19 if they couldn't at the end of the year, and they kind of moved away from that. I don't think they'll do a 4.0 because they've got too many other things to do. So they'll do a 4.0 like summer. And if they don't do a 4.0, if it's not 3.19, they'll call it 3.18 dot whatever for Invictus. So if you're lucky, you may show up on the floor. It was a 30K, not a CTD, so I should end up back on the wherever I was before. All right. Pyro next IAE. I think after next IAE, yeah. That'd be my guess. Keep it nice and slow. You're all good to go?
Yep.
Gemini includes an optional missile pod, which should be swapped out for fuel intake on either Starfire variant's nose, so it can be swapped out. Okay, that's good to know. But it comes standard with the missile pod, so. Are you kidding me? The USA England game was a fucking draw.
0-0.
Oh, so unsettling. Zero to zero, yeah. So who wants to bet that Jax shows up in a galaxy? I don't think Jax will show up in a galaxy. I think Jimmy will show up in a galaxy to get Jax. I mean, there's some simple fixes for they could add to improve combat logging, which is to add a timer. Just add it so that your character doesn't leave the game if there's a sudden disconnect for 2 minutes. That's a simple fix. Simple, easy fix. Kirkland brand Stig to the rescue. There have been so many scoreless games in the World Cup. I think it's already broken a record. Yeah, I don't know if it's taken me a little bit as well. It's loading and deleting the entities pretty quickly, though. No B-Win issues. Then what about linking your Ethernet? Doesn't matter. You just say that if you disconnect, it takes 5 minutes to log out. Oh, yeah, this happens for me sometimes, where it takes a little bit while for it to load in properly. And I have it on SSDs and everything like that. It just takes a while sometimes. People's stance on PvP versus PvP is about as polarized as US politics. Meanwhile, I'm just here in the middle waiting. I'm the same. But, like, a logout timer is not a problem for anybody. Like, PvP shouldn't matter. It means prevents combat logging. It means you have to pay attention. You have to find yourself a safe place to log out. PvE, same thing. Like, be in a safe place when you log out. It's a standardized practice that's existed in so many survival games for a super long time. It's a simple, easy way of fixing it.
It's also existed in Null Second Eve Online.
Yeah, it's complicated, but yeah, I first learned about it in DayZ, and it worked really well in DayZ. So the easy fix for self-destruct is make it so that you have to have the ship active, and you have to input a sequence yourself. It can't just be a button. Hello. VoIP, yeah, VoIP should be working.
Yep, VoIP is.
Hey, Dano. And WoW since 2004. Yeah, it. There's nothing wrong with being able to overload your engines and blow yourself up, but you should have to know how to do it and not just be able to just do it automatically. That's shitty. It's just a shitty way of. It should be a sequence you have to do, like set your power level to a certain amount, and you have to like. Then there's no timer. It'll overheat and explode.
It should take as long, at least as long, to blow up, set the destruct sequence as it did in Star Trek 3: Search for Spock.
I am talking in game. Hello, everyone in game.
Hello.
Did you miss a tour? No, we had a 30K in the middle of it, so we're going to go to the Prospector. We'll set up with the Prospector again.
Yeah, train party. Who does the music?
Could we in the future give like autopilot to place with the ship? Probably. I'd be okay with certain autopilots existing, especially with like that being able to hand over control of your ship to the ATC and have them guide it in for you.
Can we fix landing first?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like instead of having auto land, you'd have a pass off to the ATC, so you wouldn't have an auto land anymore. It's like the cutter or the vulture has a dedicated self-destruct button. How about firing a railgun inside of the ship? That should work. I mean, planting explosives inside your ship should also work. They can change that, though. They can change those buttons inside the cockpits easily. Just remove them. Oh yeah, no, there's definitely going to be some pains for it. I think CIG wants to make it so that that's not the answer that people should have when it comes to being pirated. The other thing that's going to happen that people don't realize is that they're often going to, like, pirates are often not going to like this because a lot of pirates today are like, I'm a PvPer who enjoys, so I want to be able to pirate PvP people in PvP. It's like, you're not going to be able to, that's not the way you're going to make most of your money. Most of your money is going to be made by NPCs that you're going to pirate.
Plus, it's also going to result in a wildly different engagement type if you're trying to pirate somebody
Yeah.
in PvP context versus actually PvPing them. Your goal is going to actually be PvP in the sense of an actual debate itself, as opposed to like trying to disable their ship or anything like that.
Yeah. All right, we're going to back to the recording. All right, sorry about that. We had a bit of a 30K here, but we're back with the tour group. We're here to look at the result of Project Cold Start. Now, Project Cold Start was a program that Misc wanted to develop to try to increase the amount of dedicated ships, specific role ships, that they had on offer to their smaller range, the Freelancer range, which is their first real foray into smaller range industrial ships. So what Cold Start was designed to do was to effectively, what can we turn the Freelancer into? Can we build something on the same factory floors as the Freelancer for a specific role, like mining or salvage or refining or whatever? And so what they came up with, the best option based off their research, was a mining ship, because mining existed for a while with large kind of enterprise ships like the Orion, but they wanted to have, but there was a lack of like ships for somebody just starting out or smaller companies that didn't have the money for an Orion, but may have money for multiple smaller ships. So that was what the Prospector was built as. This is a size 1 mining head. It has a pretty powerful scanner, has a crew for 1. And it has back here, these are saddlebags that can be disconnected and reattached to any number of other kind of processes, especially, most refineries. It's a pretty simple ship. It's not a Freelancer, obviously, but it is built in many of the same ways that the Freelancer was. So the idea being, if you operate a Freelancer, you should be able to operate a Prospector pretty easily. With that being said, let's actually take a look at more of the ships, the Freelancers. Let's go over here to look at the Freelancers. Come with me. Keep walking. Keep up. Yeah, there's no capital ship that has interdictions yet. Yeah. I mean, you still should be able to self-destruct, but self-destruct should be a process, not like a button. Make sure I am right. Okay. Alrighty. Welcome to the Freelancer Wing. This is probably the most iconic ship from Misc. But we have to learn a little bit about CIGs. We have to learn a little bit about Misc's deal with the AOPOA to understand why the Freelancer is so important. So, in 2910, Misc and AOPOA, the Xi'an company, sat down and crafted out a deal. The deal was that Misc would hand over its plans for things like the whole series and help give engineers and pilots to they kind of lend them to Aopoa for them to learn how to build and maintain and work human ships. And in return, Misc got Xi'an engineers and scientists and access to Xi'an engine technology to help work on their own ships. So in 2915, the process of making the Freelancer was already underway. So they incorporated a lot of Xi'an engine technology into the Freelancer itself. Originally, these back engines here would actually rotate up and down, similar to the rotation engines on, say, like a Cutlass. But that was removed because of other issues. In-game, I mean. Still, the Freelancer was highly successful. They released a long Advent campaign, which was called the Built for Life campaign. And that is what sort of kicked off the success of the Freelancer as a whole. And it was a very popular ship because it has a much longer range than most ships of its size, thanks in part to the Xi'an engine technology. It has a crew of 2 to 3, minimum 1, but you can up to 3, beds for 4, and a large 66 SCU cargo bay. And while this was designed as a cargo ship first and foremost, a lot of pilots were using it for various other things, like combat and exploration. So when Misc learned about this, they decided to build their own standalone variants for each of the Misc Freelancer series. I'm trying to remember when. I think it was 2947 was when they came out. But over here is the first one of the line, which is the DUR. This is the duration variant. This is has increased scanning technology right here. This little beam right here. It has better scanners, and it has additional fuel for much longer ranges, both here in the front and on the sides of the engine. But otherwise, it's the same thing. It even has actually, let's come in here and I'll show you the cool parts, because all of the variants have their own specific additions. So they have limited fuel, limited cargo space here compared to the regular Freelancer. But in here we have a reactor. This is a fuel reactor designed to take in hydrogen and create hydrogen fuel. So this is a specific bespoke hydrogen fuel reactor, which allows to increase any range you need to. And behind you as well, as you see the some of that parts as well. So let's head out and I'll show you the next one, which is the Misc. Well, the Max of the Misc, actually. One of the other variants here is the Max. The Max is just a double-wide version of a Freelancer. They had to add an additional engine to the Max to make it a little bit more powerful with the additional size. But it has, you take the front half of the Freelancer and you slap it onto one that has a little bit bigger. That's all this is. It's just to double the cargo to, I think, 120 SCU of cargo in here. The last variant is the Militia variant, also known as the MIS, M-I-S. The Freelancer MIS is it's the combat version. It's designed for more combat, but specifically it's designed as a missile boat. Because as we can see, we go in. These are 2 size 5 missile loaders. The top actually has a very custom-built launcher, so you can fire, I think, up to 6 on each side of these, maybe 10. But there's a significant number of additional size 5 missiles, which are pretty hefty missiles to fling at an enemy. And that is the Freelancers. From here, from the sort of inspired by the Xi'an to the downright copied to copying the Xi'an, let's head over to the Reliant series.
Did I get res? Somehow I got incapacitated.
Sure. Where are you?
Thank you.
You got it? You got him? There we go. Let's go. You should be able to load from the inside. Yeah, we don't know if that's they're size 4. No, The guns are size 3, yeah. But I'm talking about the missiles. The missiles are size 5. They're not size 3s. Unless they've changed them.
Size 5 are small torps, Astro.
Yeah, but they're called missiles and they're size 5. They changed it then. It originally was size 4s. Those weren't size 3s. They're size 5s, I should say. All right, here we go with the Reliant. So the Reliant series is unique because unlike other ships from Freelancer from Misc, these ships specifically are designed with the Tavaran in mind. These are basically based off of Tavaran technology. They use Tavaran composite metals. They use Tavaran engine design. These are actual on-loan engine designs from the Tavaran themselves, like leased. And they actually have a rotating cabin. Well, this is the core, which is the basic version. It has 2 seats in here. It can be operated by one person, but there's also the second seat available. When this is in flight, both those seats rotate to be vertical along with the wing itself. Xi'an, I'm sorry, I said Tavaran Xi'an. We're getting to the end of IAE. I am a little tired. I'll just say that. Chat is like, Paul, you've gotten all these wrong. So it's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, this is it's based off of the Xi'an technology. I'm going to take that again. I'm just going to go back and take it again. That whole thing again. Because what's going on? So this is the Reliant. The thing about the Reliant that's different from any other of the Misc ships of ship lines is that other ships in the Misc fleet have a inspiration or like sprinkling of Xi'an technology. This ship specifically is a Xi'an ship in all intents and purposes. It has Xi'an composite metals. It has Xi'an engines that are actually on lease to Misc. And it even has the kind of this rotating cockpit here, which is designed to rotate while in flight. So this Reliant specifically is the core. This is the one back here. I always call it the core because it's not the core or the core. People call it's the core. This is the core version, the base version of the Reliant. But then we have over here, we have the Sen. So this Sen is the science variant of it. They replaced the back cargo area for some beds and a specific kind of science array. This is a sort of allows for more research and scanning and other such additions to the to the standalone Reliant to increase its scanning range. Then here we have the Reliant Tana, which is the military version, the combat version. It has space for weapon racks. It also has little spots of space for storage here, beds, and over here you have a pilot or a co-pilot controlled upgunned pod. I believe it's either here or over there. you have increased weapon sizes, which makes it pretty deadly in combat. And last, and certainly least, because this is the one that is probably the least valuable in game right now, we have the Mako. This is advertised as the news van variant. This has a broadcast antenna on it, or broadcast capabilities, and has a camera on it for capturing sort of events live. It was always pitched as something that content creators could use, or something that could be used in game to broadcast in game, but in reality it has very little use in practice, other than being sort of a cool prop ship, I guess. Even the camera is sort of garbage in comparison to just capturing in-game camera. But this is what it is. I would say that the Reliant series is generally the least liked versions, like starter ships, because it's technically a starter. But it's unique flavor for what it is. From this, let's head on down to the longest project that Misc has ever attempted from its concept to completion, the Razor series. The poor man's B-Wing, yeah. Yeah, I don't think about the Reliant at all, because I forgot most about the Reliant, because it's everyone does, and I remember joking that it's the Corey, but like it released and then people forgot about it. There's like a handful of people who actually give a shit about the Reliant. All right. Here we go. All right, here we are at Project Daedalus. So, in the 2880s, I believe, the then CEO at the time of Misc wanted to move away from heavy industrial ships, which had become the main staple of Misc. They wanted to try to diversify away from the industrial line. So they created a project which would become known as the Misc Daedalus, which was a racer designed to compete in space racing endeavors. However, it didn't do so well, and while it completed the Murray Cup, it just completed. It never placed or even got a berth in the Murray Cup itself. So the project was effectively scrapped until 2910, when the first deal was struck between Aopoa and Misc about getting Xi'an engine technology. What they did from there is in 2940, they realized they still had the Daedalus prototype and could improve the Daedalus overall with Xi'an engine tech. And these areas right here, these sorts of black composites that you see here and little kind of on the side as well, these are treated with a specific metal, treated with specific chemical, some kind of Xi'an addition, which allows for greater intake on these intakes, which allows for faster collection of hydrogen, which then allows for faster regeneration of boost. This means that the Razor is very fast, combined with its Xi'an engines here, and can also just very fast. I would say it's the fastest, but no, it's not the fastest, I don't think, in the game, but it's very, very fast. And has pretty decent handling as well. So in 2947, when the Misc Razor, which became renamed, when it first was introduced into the racing scene again, and it actually got a berth in the Murray Cup, they decided to make it available for sale as well. And along the way, they also produced two different variants. This is the EX, or the LX. The LX is people say it's the luxury version, but I like to call it the drag racing version. This sacrifices much of the maneuverability for straight line speed. This is the fastest version of the Razor, but it is not very maneuverable. Then over here, we've got the EX, which is the stealth version. Now, this ship was actually purchased and operated by the Advocacy. So the Advocacy uses these for very clandestine missions and retrievals. They use their own versions of the EX to help them out. But it has both its armor and its paint are in components. Sorry, both its armor and its components are all stealth based, so it makes it a little bit more stealthy when it comes into, while still keeping the speed of a typical Razor. From all of the ships that are available on the floor, let's look at the future, which is a lot. Come with me. All right. So we already talked about the whole series, but this is the whole C. But most of the ships are above a whole A are effectively whole C or bigger. They're the same thing, only with more spindles. Maybe some slight increase in the cabin, but not by much. So the whole C, as you can see, each of those boxes, I believe, are 32 SCU boxes. So they can hold a lot of cargo. And you can start to see why this ship was used, is credited for effectively ending the cargo crisis. Because you don't need many other ships other than a few whole Cs to be carrying pretty much anything in the verse where you need it to go. So that's the whole C. We already talked a little bit extensively about the whole series, though. So let's go from the whole C over here to the next one, which is the Odyssey. So the Odyssey has an interesting legacy. The Odyssey was built for two reasons and two reasons only. Number one, because the Carrack was popular. Both in-game and in real life. Because of the popularity of the Carrack, Misc wanted to get in on that exploration, so they built the Odyssey. The other reason is because of the botched release of the Endeavor, which we'll talk about here in a moment. It was so botched that they wanted to have something that was an honest-to-God exploration ship that was pitched properly and built properly. So that's what the Odyssey is all about. It is a large ship. It has a small hangar, I believe, and or not an extra small, a small bay for a hangar. It has cargo. It has extensive range to it, and its unique gimmick is underneath the cockpit here is actually a mining. You can take like a front of a prospector and stick that thing on there. It has a mining laser and a onboard refinery to allow it to mine and refine its own quantum fuel. So that increases its range significantly and its ability to work as a exploration ship. The way that the Misc pitched this is not only can you chart the stars, but you can already exploit the resources of those stars at the same time. From the Odyssey, let's head on over to, I believe, the Expanse. So the Expanse is, again, part of that long Misc heritage of taking lots and lots of data and turning it into something valuable. The Expanse was built after feedback from the Prospector. A lot of people enjoyed the Prospector, but the major issues that people had with the Prospector was that they had to go to third-party refineries to get a lot of their stuff refined because they didn't have their own onboard refinery. And as a result, they tended to not make enough money to afford multi-crew, better multi-crew miners like the Mole or the Orion. So they came up with the Expanse. The Expanse is a refinery ship. Its sole job is it has 6 built-in refineries that can refine anything from any kind of minerals and even scrap and salvage to their own components and such. It is built like any other Misc ship, but the main way that you interact with things, it has nothing to do in typical Misc fashion. It's a lot of handheld. You got to move things around, but with the Expanse, everything is done by tractor beams. So they have a tractor beam array, which allows you to kind of load and unload the saddlebags to load and unload multiple different commodities, as need be. And the idea is that it's able to be soloable, or one or two, very few crew members, and you can just add it to any small fleet of prospectors, and you're good to go. Probably cheaper to buy and operate with a prospector and a Misc or a Expanse than it is to try to buy, say, an Orion. All right, with that, let's move on to the last one, the Endeavor. Now, the Endeavor got a bit of a tragic backstory. The Endeavor is actually the third ship that Misc ever built. They wanted to build a science and medical ship. So they brought teams from the whole team, so the people who built the whole series and the people who built the Starfarer series together, and said, you two work together to make this ship. The problem is that the approach to the design of the hull versus the approach to the design of the Starfarer are very different. So they came at it from two different complete mindsets and how it worked. As a result, they could not agree on anything but the bare basics and decided that they would sell modules instead of actually selling a ship. So you'd have to purchase prefab modules or kind of swap that on your own in order to make the ship you want. That worked for most people, but as a result, you didn't really have a science research and medical ship. You had a science ship, a research ship, and a medical ship separate from one another because they couldn't really be operated together. So the Endeavor has 3 sections, which is called the Exploration Cab, which is this front section, which can actually disconnect entirely and go on its own. You have the Workshop, which is this middle section here, which is where you can attach modules and kind of do other things. And then the very back section here, which is called the Drive section, which has the Quantum Drive, the Jump Drive, and all of the engines. And on the sides, you can see these little kind of rectangular shaped things. Those are where you attach the various modules to turn it into various things. There are biodomes, there are crew habitation centers, there are hospital sections, there are landing bay sections, there are general science, there's specific science, like there's a telescope, there's a particle collider, lots of different sorts of additions you can make to this. With that being said, that is the floor here of IAE 2952 for Misc Day. Thank you for joining us. I want to thank all these folks who are going to come out here with me for joining us live. If you want to join us live, we have one more day left, which is going to be on Saturday, November 26th. It's probably already out. This video is probably already out in that morning before then. So at 1 p.m. Eastern, between 1 and 2 p.m. Eastern is when we will go live. With this last thing, we'll be looking at probably the latest edition, which is the Galaxy. Learn a little bit about that, as well as all of the other RSI ships from the oldest manufacturer. But I want to know what your thoughts are on the Misc ships down below in the comments. Thank you to these wonderful folks here who've been hanging out with us. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black. All right, we're still here. But that's it for the tour. We're still gonna be live. We're still gonna be doing some more of the stuff. In fact, we're gonna go on a bit of a relic hunt. If anyone wants to join us, we're gonna head out to the orbital station for now. Then after that, we're gonna be heading over to Dark Tide a little bit later. You already didn't switch scenes? Yes, I did, because it's I'm keeping the music in the background, the sound effects, because I don't do the outro for these because I edit it. Whereas the captain staple, I do everything in engine or in there. So excuse me while I get naked in front of these people.
Whoever's the party leader, can I get a re-invite?
Yeah, I need a re-invite as well. Here we go. Thank you. Can you make me the party leader again, Outstorm? The front of the Endeavor can't quantum. I think it has its own quantum, but I don't think it has its own jump drive. It may have both. All right, y'all. Let's head out to the front. Anyone who has a wants to join us, we're gonna be going on an adventure.
Paul, can I get a invite?
There we go.
Thank you.
Only ship allowed is Corsair, I suppose.
Yeah, we should take my Corsair out. This is good. It'd be a good test for it. I'll bring up my Corsair. AB Shiori, I got you, Shiori. I think you're already a friend, so.
Is this going to be a Corsair as the clown car?
Yes. You can fit everyone in the Corsair here. They just have to sit in the cargo bay. It's not like anyone sat down in the fucking Valkyrie when we were using it. People would be like hanging out in the cargo bay there too.
This doesn't sound very different now.
Just go find something to hold on, especially if Paul is flying.
Listen, I'm a perfectly good pilot. Y'all just need to like get better at it. Get better at dealing with it.
Blackout drunk. Otherwise, there's a problem.
Why haven't I
Perfectly
played
good
like
pilot
that?
for a blackout drunk. There we go.
No armor? Nah, I haven't bothered doing it just because I don't need it for the I don't really need it for protection, and I don't really need it for temperature regulation. This is good for Microtech.
Are we meeting at Port Tressler?
Yeah, let's all meet at Port Tressler.
Oh, I can buy armor. Okay. I don't have anything here. I have everything stored at ArcCorp.
Yeah, that's why I have this stored here so I can use it for missions. But in 3.18, that's going to change because we no longer need the to only go to fucking Microtech to go find relics because you can find them all over the verse now, all over Stanton.
Needs gear. I've got some FS9s I can offload on them.
I could probably use a gun.
Yeah, just buy up the ammo.
Armor I can buy.
And you can. I'll hand it over up there.
Nothing says serious space sim like giant oversized bear heads. You know what? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that. I don't think because like Star Citizen isn't really a serious space sim. It hasn't been since like 2012, 2013. Star Citizen is, as Chris would say, a universe simulator, a life simulator. Does it take itself seriously? Sure. But, you know, in life, we also have ridiculous shit, too. This is the commons, so we're not supposed to be here. But if you need armor, this is where you go get them.
If you need armor or weapons, this is the place.
Doesn't Tressler have armor?
Yes, but not really good ones.
Oh, okay, then I guess I'll...
What are the relics for? Absolutely nothing. They give us no money at all.
Where do
You're
they
mistaken, Astro. They are to show you, put in your museums back home to show off the cultures that you've liberated and civilized.
Yes.
They are there to say that the British Museum isn't wrong in what they were doing.
Why would people want the medical galaxy? They never would be so much better. Exactly. But I think people would want it because it's a much... it's a smaller crew requirement than an Endeavor Hope. I think it's like, what,
also,
3
it's
to 3 or 4? And it's modular too, so you can
switch out the modules, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could do the same thing with the Endeavor, but the Endeavor is a lot bigger. And it doesn't have the same kind of modularity. You can't swap out the Endeavor for a refining module for the Endeavor because it's not a refining ship. It's a science and medical ship. Yeah, also the Dream Fetter's not going to be out for years, yeah. Hey, Sunwolf. Well, no, I mean, I get the joke, the meme of like Star Citizen is getting too casual. It's becoming Fortnite because they allowed bear heads and creepy eyes and stuff like that. But
have
like,
you not seen the emos who walk through town?
I know. This is one of those things where just like, but you can get like Barbie skins for your AR-15. All right, life is not serious if we're using that as the as the term. Artifacts bring joy. It sparks joy. That's what artifacts do. They spark joy. Yeah, you can join us, Summer. Just send me a friend request and I'll send you an invite over.
And crimes against primitive civilizations. That's what they do.
We're not doing crimes against primitive civilizations. We have violent criminals who are sitting on top of valuable human artifacts that we need to liberate from those criminals, okay?
Well,
we're doing the community
They
service.
take them to a museum?
Yes, into my museum, to our museum.
Exactly.
Yeah. Where do you find relics? The only place you can find relics is at derelict outposts.
What store sells armor on in your Babbage?
I believe it's the Shubin store. You have to go to the Shubin mining area.
The space station does as well.
The space station does as well, but they don't sell the heavy armor. They only sell the
Really?
exploration. Yeah, they only sell light armor in the space stations.
Oh, sorry. They sell Defiance. That's why I'm saying that.
Do they? I don't think they do anymore.
Oh, they used to. That's where what I'm literally wearing. What pad are we on? Sorry.
Hold on. We are on pad. I don't have a ship here. That's what pad we're on.
That sounds like a you problem, Astro.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a we problem.
We're all going up to the station to meet up at the station first. Is what we're doing.
I've got a Corsair
Yeah,
at New Babbage here. If anybody wants to hop on, as soon
Paul,
as I
you can get
pull it
on my
out,
red.
I'll let you know.
Okay, I'll hop on your.
My
what-
Pisces red.
Sure. What's your what
Hang
pad?
at 12.
Hangar 12,
I'll let
all
you
right.
know the hangar as soon as I pull it up here.
Take the Redeemer out? No, because I'm going to blow it up.
You definitely don't want to ride with me.
Well, remember, my red name is also account locked, so I can't really say much.
That's true, but you won it in a competition. I got it because CIG thought it was funny.
Oh,
It
we
is
all
funny.
thought it was funny.
Just CIG has good humor? Is that the difference?
Yeah. Now we just need them to go the extra mile and put it into lore that you, person sharing your name, was the lead designer and the brains of the Redeemer creation project.
Well,
Created at their favorite pub, the Astro.
I already factored that in with my lore. With the lore that I created for it as part of the deal I made with chat, which was that my character was not only not part of the production but part of the test pilot team and saved it but still crashed it. So that way y'all were still happy about the idea.
Hangar number 8. Anybody that wants to.
The deal was it's your brainchild made up at your bar.
We all think it's funny. That wasn't the deal at all. Can I get an invite? Yes, sir, Guns. What are you in game?
I can't believe this thing just survived an 600i exploding around it, but you know, shit happens. Oh yeah, Paul, this is an exploded ship that survived somehow.
Oh.
It's all red, so hold on tight.
Yeah, I'm hanging out so in the actual seat, so. Back door's still open.
It's broken.
It's broken. Okay.
Tape and wishes here. Okay. That must have Drake.
There you go. I mean, it's definitely channeling some Drake vibes.
Garbage heaps, channel Drake vibes.
Ooh. You all right? Don't fall out of the ship, Guns. Yeah, there's no raffle going on right now. So it shouldn't be. Yeah. I even disabled the giveaway here. I did, yeah.
Is anybody else coming to Hangar 8?
I'll be there in a few moments then. If you're
Okay,
if you're,
sounds good. Now hold on. If anybody's already on board, if they could open up the hangar bay or something so he can get on.
Yeah, I just got out of the commons, so I'll be right there as quick as I can.
This is your captain speaking. We have landed safely. If
Oh,
safely means still in microphone.
I have the Polaris, Perseus, and I want a reason to buy the Galaxy, but I can't think of one. Then don't buy one. It's just simple.
The only thing the Galaxy gives that and no other ship has is refinery at that scale. It's a high level refinery ship.
Yep. Question: is Consolidated Outland and lore Freemason related to the old Templars and lore? Someone said this to me. I'm sure there's theories behind it. That sounds exactly like the kind of conspiracy theories that would come up with Consolidated Outland, because Silas Kerner is old money as shit. But no. As far as I know, it's not in lore. That it could be something that the Plain Truth guy would come up with.
And I think that would be a thing that Hearst Dynamics would be proud of.
All right, we'll wait here for everyone to get up here, and then we'll head on down. Note the character's real, and no more not buying concepts until they start making some progress from me. What would I'm curious, because I've heard that before. What would be hey Matachi? Can we get a shout out from Matachi, by the way? Kill Devil, I'm curious, what would you consider progress? They have a roadmap.
You're also talking in game at the same time, just Sonia Paul.
Oh no. I'll mute myself for now.
I'm just checking.
Yeah, that's the problem. Delivery what? Because like 318's coming with like PES, it comes with the cargo refactor, it's coming with the first versions of salvage. Oh, ship delivery. Okay, so you won't be buying ships, you just don't want to buy concept ships anymore, is what you're saying. Okay.
I am going to dip for a quick trip to the restroom, then I will be back. Still
Sure.
at Hangar 8 for anybody that needs a lift. The cargo bay is open.
Okay, they're always going to make concepts. But I mean, like, I think a lot of people, I understand the concept, that idea that they're just done, a lot of people are just done with buying concepts because they don't want to buy the dream anymore, they want to buy the game. But I hear that so many times, like, I'm done in buying anything until they make progress. And my thought about that is often, like, what do you mean by progress? Because the game makes progress every patch. Salvage is coming out next patch. The patch after that's probably going to have more in-depth, maybe not repair, could have repair, but almost certainly some kind of resource management, some sort of maybe a little bit of repair, more expansion on the cargo refactor with actual larger loads and such. I see they're opening a storm.
I buy a tractor beam.
Yeah, tractor beams, SRV, those sorts of things being added, like large tractor beams. Those sorts of things are more likely than not going to be added in the next patch or the patch after that. So there's progress made every patch. It's just, I think a lot of it, I wonder if a lot of that is just perception versus reality, where people perceive there's not a lot of progress, either because they haven't paid attention to it or because they're too close to it, versus the reality of it.
Astro, Diablo's was basically just saying that he was going to go buy a tractor beam, not necessarily mentioning example.
Oh yeah, I should go buy a tractor beam, but it did bring up the idea that you also do need a tractor beam technology for that one.
I am back.
I thought about like I'm not gonna correct him. I'm just gonna let him keep going.
I'm here.
That's a good point.
I reopened the door to get them behind me. But
oh, I'm actually on the station, so I probably have tractor beams here. I do. I have a shit ton of tractor beams
Okay,
here.
well, if nobody else is heading this way, I'll
yeah, I think we're
take
good.
off then.
Here we go. I am a pretty kitty. I'm just gonna wear this. This is just what I'm wearing now. This is me now. Exactly. So I stopped playing about a year and a half ago, waiting for progress I wanted to see in game. Now that they're beginning to deliver some of the things I want, I'm returning to playing the game on a regular schedule. There we go.
The Horizon event is what I wanted, and the having FPS missions on those platforms is a big step in direction of me having like actual content I enjoy.
Yeah, the idea that they're adding more even 318 with the addition of those what are they called? The addition of those new
outposts.
Outposts, yeah, the abandoned outposts is going to be a huge part. Just because I like doing these sorts of relic hunts, so it's a big part. Now, if they could just get freaking smuggling to be functional again, you know.
I'm annoyed. They had stuff that worked and now it doesn't work, and then at least hopefully wrecks will also be a bit more in depth because now every ship can be a wreck.
Yeah. And ships can persist more often, so and they'll spawn wrecks.
I need to check with CIG. This has been in my head for a while. What happens if you soft def a ship and the player who controls that ship logs out?
I think it persists because it's now considered part of the server.
Yeah, from what they said,
have they made the ship persist? If you log where the ship's not soft deft, does the ship just stay there?
No, I think the ship will disappear if you log.
I thought it was. I thought that's what they had when they went to the whole persistent things. That if you abandon it, it would stay where it's at until you reclaim it. And when you reclaim it, you'll get a new ship.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But I don't think if you're on the ship and you log, the ship will persist where it was. I think when at least for 317 or 318, 317, whatever, 318, because I think what will happen is because they said effectively expect everything you get with 317, but some things will persist longer.
We'll see what happens when it comes out. I haven't done anything with it.
It helps take breaks like it did because it allows you to not be so close to a project you become jaded. Taking a step back is the best for me, and I'm excited to play again. Hey, I think it's the reason why I play other games often. We'll be doing Darktide a little bit later tonight, in fact. So.
Self-destruct sequence has been initiated.
Having fun there, Rig.
So guys, I'm gonna wish you
have weapons
have fun because I'm gonna hit the sack. I'm
all right.
tired. So.
Later, it's hanging out.
Have a good night or good day, whatever. Enjoy.
It's morning.
Bye.
It's morning for you.
My Black Friday was yesterday. I hate working retail.
Oh, Summer Wolf, I didn't see that. Give me it's TheAstroPub is what you should be looking for. TheAstroPub. Hey Paul, I really wanted to ship to haul my Vanguard. See one around the verse besides the library. Were there any options? Liberator, any options? No, not really. You're not going to see the Kraken, maybe? Yeah. But that's a huge ship for carrying that stuff, so.
Eventually.
The Argo tractor beam one?
I mean, I guess technically.
Oh yeah, the SRV. The SRV could work.
Yeah, that's eventually a tow truck.
I wonder in the future if when I'm in my BMM, I need to log off and the players are still shopping. What happens to the ship? It stays there, but if you're like in a hangar, it should despawn. Effectively,
what is meant to happen? Oh, sorry, you know the same thing I know.
Yeah. effectively, the way it's supposed to work is if you log out properly in a bed, then your ship will disappear wherever it is. It may stay there, persist for a little bit, and then disappear. If you log out without getting into a bed, the ship may not disappear. And some ships, the bigger the ship, the bigger ships like the Javelin, will never disappear. Once you pull them out, they will never disappear into the backlog anymore. They will remain on that server where you left it forever. So you better park it in a place that is safe.
They've also said if you had no bed in the ship, your character would pilot it to the closest space station.
It'll attempt to, yeah. It'll basically
It'll
basically attempt to turn your character will turn into a virtual NPC and attempt to fly your ship back to wherever station, the closest station. You should be here soon? Okay.
Sorry, everybody. Got distracted there. Got a call from the doctor. I am COVID negative.
Good.
Good thing.
In fact, I'm going to run an ad real quickly while we're waiting here for everyone to show up. I believe that autopilot is to a safe station BS when I see it. I don't think it's too difficult, but I think at the very least the earliest, considering the NPC kind of stuff they have in planning and they've showed off a little bit, it's definitely possible.
I can't say anything shit.
The one thing that we know I'm fairly certain though, is that once they have the ability, the ability to handle more ships just persisting forever, that they'll at least leave the ship out rather than stream it out.
They already have the AI that can land, like for the these missions actually.
Probably worth noting that as of now, there are no way to log back into a server you just were in 318. Yes, that's true. Which is why the ship despawn thing, they basically expect what you get with 317, and I think that's what they're due. Is that if you log out with a ship that's soft death, I don't think it will disappear because it's effectively a wreck. But if you log out when it's not soft death, it'll function the way it does now, where it'll just disappear.
So, because we're going to have Alt F4s, but hopefully you can soft death the ship before the prick Alt F4s.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, going to pop off and play some Dark Tide with some buddies. We'll sketch later. Later, DryCon. Yeah, we'll be doing some Dark Tide here after maybe one or two, searching for relics. What else do we have here?
I do like the change, though, they made. So if you overkill a ship, it will literally just get destroyed.
Yeah.
So if you A10 the ground, if you bomb the ground or nuke it from orbit or hit it with a sideline torpedo, it ain't gonna survive that.
Okay, so I don't see any of the missions spawned yet for it. Does anyone else have it?
Checking now.
What are they called again?
It's a delivery mission, but it's a non-standard delivery mission. Like the standard delivery missions, UDM local delivery.
No, I don't have them.
Possible, but I bet in practical application, those ships will be targeted and put down, or some other jank will happen.
Only one open is the Coast Hollow.
Yeah, so it's fine for now. We'll have to do the. We'll have to do the fly down there, but we still got some time. Or some other jank will happen. I remember when they used to have extra NPS outside operating external guns and the bunker missions. Never ever see those guys around anymore. Yeah. NPCs, you mean? Yeah.
You can still buy the blue paint. I've just checked. It's still available. But it's Warbond only. Not Warbond. It's Concierge only.
Yeah, Concierge only.
Oh, the for the new medical ship?
For the blue paint, yeah.
I don't mind soft death, but I want to be able to fix it. You're not going to be able to fix it in 318, but you'll probably be able to fix it in 319. Or whenever the next patch is. Whenever they add resource management, which it sounds like they're pretty close. Which is
to see blue paint, you have to spend $1,000.
Hey, Yeed, how you doing?
I've got a couple sniper rifles in the inventory here if anybody needs one.
I think we're good.
I have a gun that shoots 1,000 bullets a minute, so I'm fine.
So we're just waiting for Isaac's, Major Havoc's here, and Alex is here. All right, let me pull out the old ye olde Corsair.
Are we piling all in the same tin can?
If you have a friend, you might be able to get them to pay for it for you, and they can actually gift it to you. But that's the thing on your end. You have to actually figure out because it's a pain in the ass to do that. They're
could have sworn I sped it up here. Oh, that's because I have 4 Drake Corsairs for some reason. Oh, it's because I have 2 Drake Corsairs. I have my own, and then CIG gave me one to give away, and I have another one that I purchased to give away, and then I get one. I have
and
one
you're
just
a
for
sub.
Yeah,
or
I'm a sub, so
Evocati,
I'm Evocati or
Yeah.
sub, whatever. Yeah, so I get that as well.
A sub will give you for a week any new ships for a week, so you get that on top of it. Yeah, same problem.
How many seats on a Corsair? Are we all going to fit, or?
Yeah, just lay down in the cargo bay.
There's 1, 2, 3 turrets, and there's also if someone wants to spawn a small, should we put a rover in the back? Not a rover, a dragonfly in the back, I think.
Nah, that's fine. Let's head back in.
No, that's
Hangar
fine.
8. Hangar 8.
I'm going back right corner. I don't want to get crushed. How many people can sit at the kitchen? Because that's where I'm sitting.
Do I think resource management tech will be tied to modularity? Shouldn't be. Button, button, button. You can go in here. You can also go into...
Hello.
That's just the elevator. Ow. All right, here we go. Someone will also be in the side seat, or the bottom seat if they want to.
I think the side seat has better downward view. That's good for the ground. Yeah, it might be helpful.
Are we all on board? Waiting for anybody?
I'm in the cargo bay and I don't see anybody coming.
All right, pack her up. Get ready to go.
Oh, wait, there's an Isaac's 157 kilometers away.
Yeah, he's 157 kilometers. Everyone else is good. They can meet us up with this. All right, I'm going to request takeoff.
I'll close the back door here.
Okay, while we're going down, I'm going to feed cats before I'm found dead.
All right. Let's go with...
What's the key bind to lay down?
X.
X, yeah.
Paul, this ship's bigger than you think it is.
I know.
I was like, oh, you think it's a bit too tall there, mate. You have to stay low.
Yeah, but you can't also expand out the wings while you're in the hangar either.
Yep. Here we have the majestic Drake Corsair.
Oh, it has a VTOL mode. I didn't realize that.
Has VTOL and the wing spin down. Left Alt K, Paul. Left Alt K.
Or I'll find the button. I'll just find the button.
Oh, the button. Yes, the button in the cockpit works.
Why is there an exit?
Be careful.
Yeah. Gotta find the button. Find the button. Wing extender. There we go. Found the button.
Just, you might get crime stat if you keep firing the guns.
Everybody got the mission?
Sorry, can you say that again? I was actually in third person.
I was paying attention. If you get the mission?
Yeah, I grabbed it.
All right, send it again.
Retrieval up. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, it's called retrieval up. That's what it's called. I forgot what it was actually called.
And everybody make sure they get call to arms.
Yep.
Wait, we're not bad guys? Disappointed.
Good tip. I forgot that one.
I can't wait till next patch where it's going to be nigh impossible to get rid of your crime stat.
Yeah. Well, they should also reduce the chance.
No, they've said this, and I remember them saying it. They were going to make it so you can go to any terminal and go, I want to go to prison. And just go to prison.
They want people to go to prison, is the answer. And I get why they did it, but... Oh, at night, and this is the site that's always freaking blizzarding. That's great.
Oh, great.
Well, you're a good flyer. It'll be fun.
Oh man, this ship is huge.
Yeah, it flies and it flies like garbage in atmosphere.
You have to bank every turn to even turn around. You have to do full banks. You can't just like turn it like a ship. You have to turn it like a plane.
It looks like it's like actually fighting against the sails.
All right. I can't add you, Summer. You're gonna have to add me. Oh, there you go. I got you.
Sangripa, that's called Lee in Star Citizen. That place is a prison planet. Lee free. But Lee 2, I'm confusing the two.
Well, one of them's a cult planet.
One of them the cult planet, one of them's got a sandworm. They're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
One more the prison, in my opinion. Paul, we're not flying forward.
I know. I was adding someone to the party, and it was my FPS was going at 1 second per frame.
So should we like start singing a sea shanty or something? Or...
Singing to
Armistice zone. The fuck do you mean we're in Armistice zone?
We're still close to Microtech.
New Babbage.
We're next to Microtech. Yeah, that one. You know what I mean. We won't get out of we won't get out of this for another 10Ks ish. They're either on the outskirts of the
Yeah, this one's on the I know this one. I can't remember the name of this one. This one sucks because it's almost always blizzarding 24/7.
Always there.
Well, what planet are you most looking forward to coming out?
What's the name of it? The Borea on Magnus system. That or Castra. I'm looking forward to Castra because Castra's got the city of Sherman is built on top of a mountain, so like there's like a layer of clouds right below it.
That would be really weird, and they could do that with the tech they have, so that would be fun.
That is a lot of firepower. Holy shit!
Holy crap!
Wait until you make it custom, then you get even more.
That's not even mentioning. That's only one turret firing. If we had both turrets firing and me firing. Oh yeah, that's just absolute insanity.
You know, if I'm funny, Paul. You know you know how the Harbinger and the other Vanguards all have the turrets. You know the Harbinger turrets are size 3 and not a size 2. On the Vanguard series,
there's size 3s instead of size 2s.
Yeah, the Harbinger.
Yeah, because it's got those missile pods of size 3, so you can actually put Panthers on them.
Oh. Can you stagger the pilot guns? I think you can. There's a stagger option.
can't even tell with the stagger mode on the repeaters.
Seems like the light has some range.
Targeting the only ship down there, Major Havoc, full power, 2 weapons.
Still 2 kilometers out, but I don't like the fact of how thick this cloud layer is.
Just keep pinging tab.
You're a mountain away, Paul. Go up. Pull up, Paul. Pull up, Paul. Pull up, Paul. Oof.
I can't see anything, literally.
You just go, yeah, just go forward, you're fine. I'm in third person camera, I'm just checking.
Yeah, third person you can see something. First person looks terrible.
Some other ship there.
There's Major Havoc.
There's
another one. No, it's Major Havoc. Alright, coming down.
Just tell us when we hit the deck.
He's gonna hit Major Havoc's ship at this point.
And we're down. You're good to go.
Opening the cargo.
How do I stand back up?
X again.
Hold X. Spacebar can also do it.
There we go. Thank you.
Whoa!
That was a mistake. Hit the wrong thing.
I'm getting off that ship.
I can't see a damn thing.
Yeah.
You turning the lights off, Paul?
Sure. Yeah, I turned my lights off, but I think it's the other one that's on.
AOC.
Keep your eyes open. Be careful. Bring the package back if you get a chance to.
Already on it.
There are 9 tails on the ground. Can people turn the lights off? I can't see anything. Oh, fuck.
That would be... That's the other ship, I think. Yeah, the other Corsair.
All right, moving back in.
Havoc.
Yeah, I'm going back inside. I'm going up top.
There we go. I can actually see now. Oh no! Let go.
Where's that from?
There's me shooting somebody.
Oh.
Is anybody else taking
I'm
fire?
being shot at. Being shot at.
Hold on, moving.
I'm on the tower, so. I can't see anybody though.
Target down. 2. How many we got left?
Paul, come to me.
I may have crashed. Nope, I didn't. Okay, jump down. We're good. Coming to you. Did you already find one?
Yeah, I found some war medals up here.
Oh shit! We never find them out in this place. Diablos' lucky charm. See, we got 2 Tavaran service markers. It looks like Both worn, which is good. I'll take some of this food and some of these rations and such, so we can actually have them.
I have a mate who just does these for a couple of hours a day, and I know a lot of the locations they can get them.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that this place is never like I've seen that crate like maybe 40 times since I started doing this, and it never spawns any metals.
We might just get lucky. No one's doing these because of the IAE.
Maybe, yeah, because people have been doing them for their own reasons. Who has an FS9? I've got FS9 ammo here if someone needs it on this guy.
Sure.
No.
1 second.
Right.
I'm rocking a F55.
Indeed.
There you go.
I didn't expect. When as soon as I saw those AI here, I knew there'll be loot because that's normally goes hand in hand.
Yeah, if there's AI, there's loot, and because no one's doing this. God, this place is impossible to see anything. I hate this location.
Right,
this is the location.
Everybody's dead.
That made me lose my shit when they announced that they were doing other derelict sites outside of Microtech. I was like, fuck. Thank you, Jesus, titty fucking Christ!
I don't know what's worse, doing a sand desert on here or a nighttime desert, like a nighttime sandstorm on Daymar. Like, what's worse?
This one's worse. This one's much worse.
This is like my least favorite place in this entire game.
You just can't see anything. AI can see you, and it's like.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to like some stuff on Daymar. Or wherever, anywhere but here.
I want to do some Hurston ones and Savannas. That'll be really cool. A Savannah one on Hurston.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to do something where, like, in an environment where you don't need special armor to live.
There's a box up there I can't move, but I don't think it's a box that's going to have a war metal in it.
No. Most of them. There's a couple of them which have that tricksy, like, you can see it, but you can't really do it. All right, let's head back to the,
there's a
ship.
box here, so I'll move this box and I'll see if I can climb it.
Whoever has the box in the mission box, when we get in, hold on to it. Do not fucking let it go. Ghost is an expert on this, so he knows.
How to do this.
He's this is not his first lore trip. So, my camera's down. Okay, yeah, this is why I have to turn on the AC super high because it gets stupidly hot.
Oh, welcome to Australia.
Well, it's freaking like 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, it's like 12 degrees or 15 degrees Celsius here. But it's still like.
But that's stupidly hot.
It's stupidly hot because my house is really well insulated, so it's stupidly hot inside the place with 2 computers running and like a heat running in the house. Yeah, it gets pretty fucking hot.
I
have to take my side panel off sometimes.
But if it's the summer, then we're running the AC, and the AC is fine, even though it might be a little cold. It's like, oh, that's fine. All right, everyone, pack into
I'll come back. Yeah.
Oof.
Whoop.
Do they say they're working on the Galaxy, or is it BS? I don't think it's BS. I do think it's conjecture based off of what we've seen on the roadmap. But I don't think they haven't confirmed it. So if you're of the opinion of like if unless CIG specifically says it's bullshit, then it's bullshit.
All right, everybody shake the snow off before you go into the living quarters.
All right, going up. I'm closing up the back ramp.
Stay frosty, people.
Ready to go.
Okay. Going straight up. Going into VTOL mode.
You still can't even see stuff in the cockpit while you're not even flying the ship. That's impossible.
Yeah, you've got to be in third-person mode to see this.
Fantastic.
I can see even in third person mode all of this the like low flying hanging fog around us. So there we go.
Like when that light, the blinking light goes off, it just makes the entire area illuminate with the fog.
Banking over. All right. We are cruising towards New Babbage.
Whereabouts do you land? Do you land near the commons to drop this off?
No, because we have to drop it off. It's usually on a rooftop, so it's going to be in the rooftop area.
Oh, okay.
You can still access local inventory most of the time, though.
Yeah.
I was saying we got a new baby. Can you please not crack into my 600i? I still need a paint job, but I don't want to scrape it.
We're gonna subject the CIG. They're always working on stuff, but it's more like when a 10-year-old son says soon he's cleaning his room. You cannot just attach an ETA to that. Yeah, so that's the hard part. The thing that we know for sure is that CIG started working on modularization with things like the Retaliator, but they had to stop. They had like one person on it, but they had to stop because that person was needed to help test PES.
So
not many windows for an exploration
yeah,
chip. Yes. It's a Drake's exploration chip, so you don't need windows to see where you're going.
All you need is a roll of duct tape.
Maybe a little bit of aluminum.
The concept had windows in the crew cabins. You live in Baltic Scotland. Fuck off.
You think Drake can afford Windows? Fucking hell.
Nah, it's mostly just a gripe about the temperature regulation in my house. It doesn't exist. It's either too hot or too cold, and there's no in between. In fact, I'm gonna do this real quick to make sure.
No, Oates was saying the Windows thing about the Corsair.
Oh yeah, no, about the Corsair. Yeah, no, I saw that. That's what.
But yeah, it's Drake. Do you think they can afford Windows? Yeah.
General Major Crapshot is the one who was talking about that.
So what's safer? Are you going to be able to fit the ramp on the pad with this thing?
All right, give me a second. Turn my camera back on. There we go. Shields overheating? What do you mean shields overheating?
Man, this thing is not lasting.
All right.
Because it was now in cold, and now they're heating up to get rid of the heat, and it's just damage. Oh, I'll tell you right now, the Corsair can't take missile hits anywhere. If you get hit by a torp, you can survive the impacts, but the amount of damage it causes internal components is insane. With Ferrassault, we got hit with a torp in the side. We lost shields and quantum with one torp.
AstroPub, it's strange though that they haven't touched the Expanse since the refining / small medium ship. Refining it should be will be an easy loop for now when the Cryo comes in. The reason why is because they need what is it called? The gameplay loop dealing with like managing your ship, like power. It's the resource system. They need the resource system in place.
So you're saying that said you have to be more resourceful? No.
Indeed.
Watch out for the antenna.
Yeah, I remember when they first brought in the Talon and they had the broken ballistic, those ballistic size 4s that explode.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got hit by one of those, the AoE of the explosion would penetrate shield and destroy every component internally inside the Talon, so it just dies.
Hold on, I'm trying to get this nice and lined up. This thing is not easy to handle in atmosphere. All right, and we're down.
But I can't believe you didn't scrape the back. That was so close. The rear can be open now. Yep, there we are.
Oh, that
Why
was,
is it?
It's nice.
The wind's pulling. The wind's pushing the wings.
That's funny.
You're essentially flying a kite up here.
How about hacking and data running? Hacking they're working on for sure, but data running is likely. There's no. We haven't heard anything about data running. So
I'm surprised they don't just do something like cargo running for data running. Except that you don't need to go through cross systems, so it makes sense, I guess, not to have it yet.
Yeah, but so data running is majorly going through the quantum points because you can't send data across through them. So that's what it's used for, to get data between systems.
All right, we're good.
okay. All right, let's head for let's check the message, the missions for the next one.
I got one. I have
grab
one.
Grab it and share.
Yeah, I'm sharing it.
All right. Ooh, that's a weird.
Paul, if I die, I'm taking you with me.
I think that's generally how this works.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's where we came from.
Is it the same
Like
place?
in the, it's in the
same place.
Great.
Damn it.
They may respawn. The people may have respawned by the time we get there.
Yeah, I just can't see anything.
Yeah. You see if there's the other missions available. There's another mission I saw that may be different. No, it's
no, we might have also in the same mission. If I pick up one, you might just have like the mission disappear. But Paul, this is your favorite space. We should have gone to this spot with the Redeemer.
Fuck you. Just fuck you. Still kind of looks like a boat, right? Yeah, it kind of has a little bit of a boat feel to it. How about science? I mean, there's no way we're getting science probably for several, like beta maybe.
Can you do me a favor, Paul?
Sure.
Can you pull up your landing gear and actually go into flight mode? Thanks.
No.
It'd be very helpful. No? Okay.
We're actually in flight mode, but...
Oh, okay. It's one of those bugs.
If you're talking about extending the wings, no, I haven't done the wings yet.
Oh, you haven't done that. Okay, just checking.
That's not the flight mode, though.
I'm sorry, if you count those two tiny engines not pointing downwards as being flight mode, nope.
No, the 2 at 10 engines, even though you have the... we weren't in VTOL mode. We were in flight mode. But when you have the wings extended up, those 2 engines aren't pointing down, they're pointing back.
I know, but... Don't give me chick. I've got an LMG in the back of your head in a second.
This is a Drake ship, after all.
Keep flying.
I expect that kind of attitude.
Mate, don't make me come over there. I do like they jerry-rigged the control screen on the floor.
Yeah. Over there. Can you interact with it?
Yes, you can.
Oh, God. I get target status. Some new ship.
Or put it on your communications so
for
they
floor,
just ignore it.
Just need some duct tape to put it on the safety railing.
Oh, it's the same as the left screen here. That's why. Okay. Ah, 30,000. 30K.
Ah,
Boo.
Boo.
Oh, but you guys got some relic out of that.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I think that's a sign. I'm gonna switch over to Dark Tide. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm gonna hop down to Dark Tide 1 if anyone wants to join us.
Thank you.
It looks like a fun game, but I don't want to play with you. Not,
You don't want to play with me?
Being rude. I don't want to deal with the lag.
That makes sense. Later, y'all.
Later.
Later.
All right. So we'll be. That's it for Star Citizen. We'll be doing another game called Dark Tide by Fat Shark, who did Vermintide. As you like 40K kind of shooters, you can join us there. But thank you for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow with Star Citizen for another lore tour, and then we'll wrap the whole thing up with our nice, neat little bow with Captain's Table. And on Sunday, we'll do another one of these where we just did here, a Relic Expedition. We'll be doing Relic Expeditions with the lore team. So, starting at 1 p.m. All right. So for those of you who are watching us over on YouTube World, thank you for joining us. Those of you who are popping off now, thank you for joining us. I'll see y'all later. But for everybody else, come join us for Dark Tide.